I have no idea what happened there. Lost like 50 viewers. Jeez Louise.
That doesn't mean that they have to do it, but
Whatever. I don't know what happened. My internet just freaking died for some reason. It's super frustrating, but I won't get mad. Won't get mad. It's still freaking broken on my streaming PC. Whatever. Whatever. Let's continue.
to put yourself out there, like, that's okay.
Opposite. So if I may ask you, what about Israel is apartheid? You also just said the students in Israel, the campus in Israel would not allow Palestinians to join. Are you confused or do you know nothing about the country of Israel? Because let me remind you, Jews are not allowed in the West Bank and Gaza. However, Arabs have full Israeli citizenship, have the rights, are members of the Knesset, which is the equivalent of, you can think of Congress, and even prosecuted a former Prime Minister, Ehud Olmert, an Arab judge. So what apartheid exactly are you speaking about? What genocide? What ethnic cleansing? And secondly, how dare you say it's okay to talk about an intifada? Let me remind you, the intifada, last time it happened in Israel, consisted of thousands of people dying in bus bombings. So are you saying that you support terrorism and killing innocent people?
Well, intifada simply just means revolution, and I'm an American.
I think that Hasan and a lot of the people that are like pro-Palestine are doing themselves like a massive disservice by not just immediately condemning things that—
Shut up. Shut the fuck up, Asmon. Fuck you. Fuck you. Or you can condemn this dick in your mouth. How about that? Condemn this fucking dick in your mouth. No, I'm not gonna condemn Hamas. Whenever somebody's like, do you condemn Hamas? It's an automatic deflection from the actual topic of conversation. You know how stupid it would be if whenever you try to talk about Palestinian sentiment and talk about why Palestinian lives truly do matter and how they are not like subhuman or whatever, somebody's like, do you condemn Hamas? And then you have to fucking immediately be like, yes, I condemn Hamas. Why don't they can literally just do that for everything. Like, I think Palestinians, do you condemn Hamas? I think Palestinians are humans. Oh, he didn't condemn Hamas, everybody. Everybody, he did not immediately condemn Hamas. Oh, he's a Hamas supporter. He's a Hamas supporter. Like, you know how stupid that is? And why would you ever engage with that conversation? I condemn Israel because Israel is the true terrorist. I'm sorry. 35,000 is bigger than 1,600. 35,000 is bigger than 1,600. Now, if as our great founding fathers have said, all men are created equal, and one Palestinian life, right, is equal to one Israeli life, somebody's in the wrong here. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe our great founding fathers are incorrect, right? Maybe you truly believe that it takes 22 Palestinian lives to equal one Israeli life. That's why it has not truly been, a detriment for Palestinians yet. Maybe I'm incorrect, but because I view every life as truly equal and meaningful and valuable, I'm going to spend my precious time on this earth condemning the people who are taking away the larger amount of life, the 35,000 as opposed to the 1,600. And even if you want to get into the weeds of this 1600, you have to ask yourself, why did Hamas do it in the first place? You freaking moron. But Asmon doesn't need to be answering these questions. Asmon doesn't need to engage with this conversation because Asmon sits on the fence. He can clearly say, I condemn Hamas. Why would I not? I also condemn Israel. Why would I not? By doing jack fucking shit to ever fight for Palestinian lives. He can sit in his freaking like cockroach infested attic in his week old underwear with his $1 million on the fence, playing both sides. He can do that because, again, as he says himself later in this video, he doesn't care. He does not care about Palestinians. He does not care about the Palestinian people. He does not care about Palestinian lives. He cares about himself, his views, and his fucking cockroaches.
Hurt civilians. I think it like massively hurts their platform. I don't know why I don't like whenever I think about it, like I don't really see how this is beneficial.
Yes, it's beneficial to just concede every time. It doesn't matter how bad their takes are. It doesn't matter how disingenuous they are. It literally does not matter. If somebody who is a Zionist says, do you condemn Hamas? You have to drop every line of argumentation that you have. You have to drop every framing that you're building up in a debate just to be like, yes, I condemn Hamas. You have to throw everything you're saying out the window just to condemn Hamas in that moment, lest you make it look pretty bad for yourself. She asked Hasan a direct question. Do you know what apartheid is? How dare you call this an apartheid? And in the midst of Hasan answering that question, he's now expected to then condemn Hamas, speak for the Palestinian people, talk about October 6th, and then maybe if they let him get words out, talk about the rest of the question that she herself asked. So no. Why would you ever concede to this ghoul's framing?
I don't like he supports it. Well, the thing is, like, if you support that, then you shouldn't be surprised whenever the other people support the same thing, right?
It's not the fucking same thing, you genocidal.
And I think it's actually like it's doing way more harm than good. Because I think that a lot of people, like an average person, just like an average, you know, undecided person, they hear about a lot of bus bombings and then the other person doesn't immediately say that's really bad. That seems very sus. And I think it alienates a lot of like middle of the road average people. And I think it even alienates people that are at least a little bit extreme.
Well, Intifada simply just means revolution, and I'm an American, and in 1776,
violent
we did
revolution.
one of those, and it was pretty fucking good. Yeah. What do you think? The American?
Okay,
do you
we
think the
also
American
bombed,
Revolution
we
was
also
the Tea
bombed
Party? Of course
Hiroshima.
not.
We also bombed Hiroshima.
Don't. Yeah, I know, and that was also unjust and unimaginably cruel. But of course, the Israel Defender is
only
also
when
defending.
We didn't go over to England and kill civilians in England. We didn't do that.
It's their fucking land, you moron. They don't have to go anywhere. It's their fucking land. They're being occupied. What are you talking about? This shows a very, 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 very clear misunderstanding for what Asmongold truly thinks that is happening in Palestine. Also, it doesn't matter if we did go over to England and kill civilians. Doesn't matter. Doesn't even matter. Yes, he's wrong. Doesn't matter. Even in his framework, his analogy doesn't work because it's the Palestinian land. They're not going over to Israel. It's just currently existing over here in Smolbean itself. They were there first. What do you mean? Somebody can't come into your house, commandeer the basement of the house you're staying in, and then when you go and you try to kick them out, you're like, I'm sorry, sir, you can't go down to the basement to kick this person out of your house. Do you think that the American soldiers went to Britain to kill them? I think not. So it's totally fine if they encroach on your attic up there, Mr. Asmongold, but you have to leave the basement alone. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Asmon would defend the War of 1812. He's not even consistent there. You think Asmon knows what the War of 1812 is? John Paul Jones led American raid on Whitehaven, England at 3 a.m. on April 23rd. April 23rd? It was like the freaking whatever 100 years anniversary like 2 days ago. Commander John Paul Jones led a small detachment of 2 boats from his ship, the USS Ranger, to raid the shallow port of Whitehaven, England, where, by his own account, 400 British merchant ships were anchored. Jones was hoping to reach the port by midnight, and the ebb tide would leave the ships at their most vulnerable. So yes, they also did go to England and fight in England as well. So,
like, that's not what happened.
So he's just incorrect.
When it fits your narrative,
civilians and killing them by the hundreds of thousands. Now
So when
listen,
it fits
listen.
your
Let's get back.
narrative,
Let's
it's
get back.
justified, but when it goes
Let's
against
refocus
it,
the
it's
conversation
unjust.
to the points that you made. Let's
what?
refocus the conversation to the points that you made.
Okay, look,
You said,
just to
what are you
remind
talking
everybody,
about?
I'm actually moderating this, but that's an interesting point that Emily just raised, Hasan. It does
That's
seem that you're very
crazy. It's so insane. It's so insane that, like, Hasan is like, okay, let me actually address the points that you made. And Piers is like, let's actually not do that. Emily, though, you made a good point. Do you condemn Hamas, Hasan? Do you condemn October 7th? Interesting.
about the violence that you support. That when you support it, it's justified. When other people use things in a violent way that you don't support, it's unjustified.
I think this is fair criticism. And I think that it's not really Hasan specifically. I think this is a problem with the entire group. And I think that they have a really hard time removing extremists out of their group. And like, I mean, conservatives have this same
35,000 Palestinians have been killed. 1,600 Israeli civilians have been killed. Do I have to do the math again? 3, 5, 0, 0, 0. I'll do it slowly so you can understand this, Asmon. Is bigger than 1,600. Now, once this number, right, becomes bigger than this number, maybe we'll have a conversation. Maybe we'll have a conversation.
problem, right? Where it's like, you know, you'll see like a Trump rally or like a big conservative rally, and there'll be like a few Nazis or like a few like, you know, like bad actors.
I mean, it shows how much Asmon doesn't know. He thinks that like only a few Nazis are at a Trump rally. only a few Nazis are at a Trump rally. Also, I know that 35,000 is not the accurate number. It literally does not matter for this argument. You think that any more than 35,000 is going to change people's mind?
You know, I mean, not Nazis, white supremacists, something like that. And so it is the responsibility of that group to try to distance themselves from those extreme bad actors. A few? Yeah, sure, there's a few. I mean, Nick, you could, I mean, is this one of the people that's like every conservative is a white supremacist? Sure, think whatever you want, right? That's the same side as somebody who thinks that every Palestine supporter is a terrorist. Like,
Fuck you, Asmon. I mean that genuinely with my entire chest. Everything that I said that got bleeped out, I legitimately hope happens to you.
It's retarded. It's not based in any reason or logic, and you don't
Dog,
actually.
I don't know how you can go about your day thinking you are intelligent if you are this person. I legitimately don't get it. I legitimately do not understand it. I do not know how you can go about your day and existing as Asmongold thinking you are an intelligent person. I don't. At least Destiny does read Wikipedia. I hate to give any credence to Destiny here. At least Destiny does read Wikipedia. At least Destiny reads Wikipedia. At least he tries to learn and understand. He's racist, and his, conclusions oftentimes fall back on, his racist beliefs. Don't credit him. At least he does read something, right? He's still biased, and his conclusions do lead into that bias, and he won't ever be a true leftist because of his biases and because of his hatred of Hasan or whatever. But Asmongold doesn't even try to learn anything, right? He goes live every day, and he's like, "This is what I believe, and I'm objectively correct. No, I have nothing to back it up. Thank you very much." Can't Uppercut, thank you for the follow. Benfish, thank you for the or for the subscription. Benfish, thank you for the subscription, and Euphoric Acoustic for the subscription as well.
Believe this.
I
Nobody.
mean, D reads, but he was pro-Palestine. He's kind of worse because he gave his morals to grifter blood money. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's bad, right? And I would say he's even worse because he is a grifter, right? But how are you so confident speaking on something that you know nothing about? It does not make sense. It literally does not make sense to me, dog. It makes absolutely no sense to me.
Believes this. And so anyway, getting back to reality, I think that it really, really alienates a lot of people whenever the obvious bad actor extremists are not just being immediately kicked out. People like Crackhead Barney. Immediately kick them out. It's not even a question.
What are you talking about? Do you think anybody thinks Crackhead Barney is a serious person? Do you legitimately think that Palestinian supporters, pro-Palestinian protesters are like, dog, I really need to know what Crackhead Barney thinks? I don't believe he thinks that. Right? Because if he started watching this video from the beginning, which actually I need to check, he would have heard Hasan say, "Did you really try to conduct a serious interview with Crackhead Barney?"
I mean, Hasan brings up a very good point here. I mean,
doing that, wanted to turn that.
Well, I don't. He's in. Have conversation.
Yeah, I think we've heard enough. Well, Emily, I mean, on one level, I guess it was quite funny, but on another level, I didn't like what she did to Ali Baldwin. I've got no truck for Ali Baldwin whatsoever. And I think with this case that he's got hanging over him, I hope that justice is served, because ultimately he did fire the gun that killed that poor woman.
He's not responsible for that. Alec ended.
Don't care about the Al Baldwin talk.
And harassed in that manner. Now, I tried to conduct a serious interview. She obviously wasn't interested in doing that, wanted to turn the whole thing into a foul-mouthed rant and joke and performative thing. Fine. That's entirely her right to do it. But what did you think of these harassings, not just by her, but by other people, of public figures?
You tried to conduct a serious interview with crackhead Barbie?
Well, no.
I mean, that's a fair thing to say. I mean, Hasan brings up a very good point here.
So, like, he understands that these people aren't to be taken seriously. He understands it. But then how are you going to act like later on in the video, right? You're like, well, if you're not kicking out people like crackhead Barbie, then you're doing yourself and the movement a disservice.
And if you're celebrating or saying that, like 9/11 was good, or, like this is what they had to
Get the quote correct, Asmongold. It's America deserved 9/11. He didn't say it was good, right? He said he deserved it. You can deserve bad things as well. Get it right.
do. Just stop. They have to distance themselves from that. And I think it's really hurting their public perception. I think it's hurting the public perception of Palestinian activists everywhere. And I think it keeps happening. And I think the reason why it's happening is that these people believe so strongly about their issue that they think that they can do anything in order to achieve their goal because it's the morally right thing to do. Because of how bad they think that their opponents are. And I understand that. I get it.
No, you don't.
But at the same time,
You don't get it. You don't understand it. You legitimately do not. If you understood it, you would be on the side of Palestinians.
I don't agree with that. I think that's bad. Like if you're a fucking terrorist and you're killing people, you're bad. If Israel does it, it's bad. If Palestine does it, it's bad. There should be no beating around the bush with this. Why are we even having a conversation about it? If somebody
because
like
it's
I feel like
not
if you're not
equal. You know, every day since yesterday, because it's only happened yesterday, I understand why Hasan went off on Tyler Broccoli. I get it. 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 Because if I was face to face with Asmongold right now, I would do the same. I'd do worse. When I condemn Israel's genocidal apartheid regime, that's the thing, though. He will. Asmongold will condemn Israel just to say he did it. Not that he truly cares, because he doesn't care. He'll just be like, yeah, Israel's bad. Hamas is bad. Because he doesn't care. He doesn't truly care about, like, the freedom of Palestinians, right? He doesn't care about an occupation or an apartheid or a genocide. He doesn't care about anything. He, sitting in his, again, roach-infested attic with his millions of dollars he gets for spewing his terrible opinions online, can get away with saying nothing and caring about nothing. And that's it. That's it. Cares about taxes, don't he?
not willing to just like straight up admit that, I don't know what the fuck to say.
Seems like it's all skewed to what Hasan Piker thinks.
Well, not necessarily just what I think. I think that there are obvious markers, obvious boundaries. I don't think violence against civilians is justified. I have talked about October 7 on this very same show, saying that it was a tragedy. It was atrocities that occurred
Which
on October 7.
Asmongold also watched. He watched this. He got 1 million views on it 6 months ago. So I'm sort of confused as to how Asmon has this take that man, Palestinians are really doing themselves a disservice by not denouncing the violence of a terrorist group, when like Hasan has very clearly done that as well. You know what I mean?
Specifically, when you target civilians in any capacity, I think that that is unacceptable. However, this does not mean that violence will not occur in many circumstances. Violence has occurred in every...
I don't know why you don't just lead out with that. Like, you should just said that at the beginning.
Like, oh my goodness. 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 That wasn't the question. Like, he was answering the question. So, okay, what Asmon wants is for any pro-Palestinian person to, because again, you notice how he didn't say that for the Emily lady, for the staunch Zionist lady who defends Israel's war crimes, right? He didn't say, oh, well, she needs to condemn Israel right now, or that's bad, right? He didn't say that, right? It's only for the Palestinian side that you have to preface anything you say, even if it's as simple as, I don't think Palestinians should be killed. You have to preface every single sentence with, first of all, thank you for your question, Piers, about if I think Palestinians are human. I will get to your question in a second, but first, I have to do my daily condemnations. Hamas is bad. Violence is bad. Killing civilians is bad. Hamas is evil. I denounce terror. Thank you, Piers. Now, to answer your question, I do believe Palestinians are human beings. Like, what, that's so stupid. And that's literally the most insane, like, thing to expect from people who are fighting for Palestinian liberation. Right?
He's absolutely right. He's totally right. And he's also right about saying, however, violence will happen. Because, like, that's true.
Single revolutionary action.
Yeah, he's right.
Many good revolutionary actions. Obviously, America bombing Hiroshima and Nagasaki with an atom bomb. That was not a very
was
good
what Hamas did on October the 7th.
It was not a very good moment for human civilization at all.
Was what Hamas did on October the 7th? Was what Hamas did on October the 7th an example of what you would call a justified revolution?
I don't look at every single act of violence. I look at
You've literally just been reciting a whole load of them.
Of oppression.
Why are you avoiding?
This is the thing. Why do this? Why do that? Why do I don't understand? Why do this?
Because it's so dumb. That's why. Like, do you look at October 17th as a good revolutionary action? No, I think it was bad. Okay, then what? Do you not do analysis? This is why it's fuck Piers, fuck Emily, and fuck Asmongold as well. Suck my dick from the back. That's what it is. Full stop. You can't say, well, do you think this one instance of violence was bad? Haha, got you, liberal. You said it was bad. No. You have to look at the totality of the situation. That's it. Right? You can look at John Paul Jones's raid on England and be like, do you condemn John Paul Jones? And any reasonable person would be like, this is stupid because this, in the context of a wider American Revolution, is one act of violence that occurred in a whole swath of violence. You have to look at the entire situation, whether or not to see it's justified. You can't just say killing civilians is bad, period, full stop. Anything else is not bad. You know what I mean? Because you have to contextualize it by the wider situation. That's it. Do you think that the absolute decimation of like the Nazi party in Germany was a bad thing? That was an act of violence. Do you think World War II was a bad thing? That was an act of violence. Killed a lot of Nazis. Yeah, do you think the Warsaw Uprising was a bad thing? Like, come on, dog. Come on. Commies did kill a lot of Nazis.
October the 7th.
You do it too.
No, I don't.
I'm not avoiding it. I've talked about it a
Okay.
million times.
Well, let me ask you
I'd
one more
like to
time.
say-
Hang on,
This
hang
is
on.
not what we're here to discuss.
Emily, hang
This
on.
is not what we're here to
Hasan,
discuss.
let me
She
just ask
said
you. Let me
very
just ask you
specifically,
directly
Israel's
one more
not an
time.
apartheid state.
Let me ask you one more time. Do you believe what happened on October the 7th was a justified act of revolution? Yes or no?
I do not, and I do think that.
good.
Oh wait, hold on. That's, let me clarify.
Oh no, no, you had it. Fuck.
Like this is what centrists literally can't understand. There's no nuance in centrist positions, right? There is no nuance in centrist positions. Like literally, it's impossible. It's something has to be good or bad, which is why I go back to my old adage that I just made up: fuck Piers Morgan, fuck Emily, what's her name, and fuck Asmon Gold from the back. That's it. That's it. That's it. It's literally no situation in which like you can't run the top of the hour ad break. Because at the top of the hour, there is a 2-minute ad break. And if you don't want to see the ads, all you have to do is subscribe either for free with the Twitch Prime or for $5 a month. And if you don't have a Twitch Prime, chat, and you don't have $5 a month, all you got to do is wait to be gifted a sub as well. This is true. This is true. That's right, Hasan. Give me your energy. Give me your energy. Oh, and that already ran. It's already running right now. Anyway, but yeah, like in Asmon's perspective, there's no nuance. There's no nuance. There's no understanding context. Killing civilians, bad. Whatever. Sure. Killing civilians in order to get out of oppression, not as bad. Still may be bad, not as bad. Killing civilians because you are doing oppression, significantly worse. You know what I mean? There's almost like there's like a nuance here that you have to try to understand. Right? Does he know about John Brown? Did Asmon knows anything about history? They're like children. They are basically children.
Let me clarify something very important here. Events that unfolded on October 7th were atrocities. That much is clear.
Yes.
Those atrocities could have been avoided if Israel was not an apartheid regime. Israel has been an apartheid
Okay, can you
regime
answer
for
how
75
Israel's an
years.
apartheid regime?
In the
Because you
early,
keep repeating
no,
that.
you can't
keep
just
repeating
chime in.
that.
You can't just
Back
chime in.
it
You
with
ask me a question.
evidence.
You want it?
Why
you
is
ask me a question.
Israel an
I'm going to give
apartheid
you an
regime?
answer.
I mean,
Great moderator, by the way. Great moderator, by the way. He doesn't seem to like letting women talk. She cut him off. Oh, bro. Asmon chatters are literally probably dumber than he is. Like, where is the moderator stopping her from, like, he's answering the question that Piers asked. Like, I'm so confused. Piers asked him the question, he's answering it. You would think Piers would stop people from cutting him off while he's answering his question. But no. There's lots of his several chatters were disagreeing with him. Yeah, but I know some chatters are like, actually, not that bad. Other chatters are stupid.
to an extent, he's probably right with that. Israel is fucking with Palestine.
To an extent, he's probably right with that.
The Palestinians don't like them, and so they had this.
Like,
is a
again, he's very much not engaging with like apartheid, genocide, occupation. He's like, yeah, Israel's doing a little bit of a oopsie here and there every now and then, right? So I can probably understand why the Palestinians might not like them very much. Because Asmongold is stupid. Literally a child's understanding of the situation. Yes, literally a child's understanding of a situation. Quite literally. Palestinians don't like them very much because they're messing with them a little bit. Literally, he has no idea what's going on. Literally no idea. How can somebody so uneducated have such a hardline stance about literally anything? It does not make sense to me. What happened to people being embarrassed? What happened to shame? What happened to like being ashamed of your ignorance? Whatever happened to this? Why is he so confident in his ignorance? It literally does not make sense to me. How are we 6 months into a direct, genocide of Palestinians, disregarding the entire 75 years of history? How are we 6 months into a direct genocide and you are so woefully unaware of what's going on in the world? It literally makes no sense. You literally have to turn on any news outlet to get, you can't avoid it at this point. How he keeps himself so unaware, it's so crazy to me. It does not make sense. It does not make sense.
Reaction. It's not, I mean, to be fair, it's not like the October 7th. Well, there were no conflicts before, in Israel and Palestine before October 7th. And then one day conflicts is a reaction. It's not, I mean, to be fair, the Palestinians don't like them. And so this is a reaction. It's not, I mean, to be fair.
Okay, so you acknowledge that this is a reaction. And then what? What?
Like the October.
He doesn't know to what, obviously. He does not know to what it's a reaction to. But he could understand that it could potentially be a reaction.
7th. Well, there were no conflicts before, in Israel and Palestine before October 7th. And then one day Palestine and then the Fire Nation attacked. No, I don't think that's what happened.
You can look it up, right? You can Google it. You can look it up, bro. You have the computer in front of you. Just Google it. What do you mean? I don't think that's what happened. Google it, dog. You can know. I'm so like, what? How? I'm. Anyway, Chad, look at this new pair of shoes I got. Boom. Kind of nice, right? Wait, the light's it's very light. I pull them back a little bit further so you can see like the colors and stuff. It's kind of chill. I may have to put it forward. Look at them. They were on sale for like 60% off. Got it for like $60. Is it a brown or an orange? It's a brown. From where? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, homie. I ain't getting from nowhere.
Of course there's going to be a cause and effect. Of course.
Because you're repeating
Israel
these
has
lies.
been
What are you matching with them?
since its
They actually matched my Mogul Mail hoodie perfectly. My Mogul Boxing Club hoodie. But I also have a bunch of other cream and beige stuff. Don't gatekeep. You don't want scalpers to pull up? Here, I'll show you where I got them from. Nike.com. Nike.com. These are women's. Gosh darn it. Women always have the coolest colorways. You scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Ooh, I hate those. Ooh, I like these though. Ooh, I like these. That's a bag. Thank you. Anyway, that's not the shoe though. Oh, these are women's shoe sales. That's why I couldn't find it. Wait, those women's shoes? No, they're men's. Okay, sick. Anyone would loan me $80 so I could buy these shoes? Oh, these are women's too? Bro. Women always have the coolest shoes. They have the best colorways, dog. Jordan. Oh, maybe the sale ended, chat. I can't find them again. Let's see. Gender, let's go men. Man. Roof. Oh, here they are. Oh, the sale after I bought it. Apparently the sale dropped to 44%. It was 60%. Oh no, it's 44 plus the extra 20%. These are the shoes that I have now. Yeah, I'll give you the link. But I do want these. They're kind of similar. They're mids. But I like the colors. It can match with my pink and with my cream things. Let me buy these real quick. These are the Dusty Peach J ones. I did not. Okay, let's go back to this video. Sorry. Hey, you're a sneakerhead? I just like things that look nice.
Its inception until 1967, Israel was an apartheid regime for the Palestinian citizens of Israel, the Arabs, as you call them. There was a two-tier criminal justice system. They were subjected to the military court processes and not the civil court processes until 1967. After 1967, they got citizenship. There are obviously still many different social issues that pertain to the Palestinian citizens of Israel, the Arabs that are living in Israel, those who are not Jewish, of course. However, Israel currently is occupied.
Somebody says, then why do they target civilians and not a military base? The reason why is actually very simple. It's because they're terrorists. Yeah, that's why. Why? It's actually a super simple answer. That's what that's what they do.
The West Bank.
Yeah.
There are more than 2 million Palestinians that live in the West Bank. Israel's illegally occupying the West Bank. There are checkpoints. There are license plates that restrict Palestine.
Also, just understand. He ignores literally everything Hasan says about an apartheid, about the checkpoints, about the two-tier justice system, about the occupation, about the consistent systemic violence that is faced by the Palestinian people. Ignores literally all of that. Literally all of that. And it's like, they're terrorists. That's it. They're terrorists. They're terrorists. They're terrorists. They're terrorists. They're terrorists. Which is why, in this thread that we're going to look at soon, wherever it is, in this thread, Capri did a great job by comparing it to the civil rights movement. Because I genuinely want to know what he thinks about the civil rights movement.
Palestinian travel. the Israeli operations in the West Bank have destroyed Palestinian statehood. Now, of course, all of this is readily available for those who want to learn about it, yourself included. I hope you look it up. B'Tselem is an Israeli human rights organization which declared Israel to be an apartheid regime in 2021, in April of 2021. Amnesty International declared Israel to be an apartheid regime.
Let me, before I move, hang on. Before I just want to bring in our two British panelists here, but just finally, just to clarify, Hasan, I can't quite work out whether you said you do think October the 7th was.
Oh my goodness, bro. Literally, that's whatever, though. This is what you have to deal with as a somebody who support Palestine. He did literally answer, yes. But Piers needs his soundbite. He needs his soundbite to use against other Palestinians or Palestinian supporters of Hasan being like, October 7th was bad. October 7th was bad. Be like, here, listen, pro-Palestinian person I have on the broadcast. Here's a clip of Hasan being like, October 7th was bad. No nuance or anything. So he can weaponize that against other people. That's it.
An unjustified act of revolution, or whether you change your mind. So can you clarify?
I think that
come on.
Violent means of maintaining an apartheid.
Oh my God.
This is why I know Asmon go to stupid. Right? Because he cannot understand nuance. I genuinely believe he can't understand nuance. Genuinely. Don't think he can understand nuance. My microphone fell off its stand real quick. Put up. Yeah, put that back on there. That's how you know I'm getting mad, getting angry. There we go. It wasn't a one word yes or no, so he turned his lost his turn with the brain cell. Yeah. Like he wants Hasan to be like a question answerer, like not like giving like explanations on, you know, historical, you know, context or historical precedent or history at all in general, or contextualizing violence at all. He wants Hasan to sit there, Piers to be like, do you condemn Hamas? Hasan be like, yes. Do you think October 7th was bad? Yes. Do you think Israel is bad? Yes. Do you think Hamas should kill civilians? No. Do you think Palestinians deserve rights? Yeah, that's all he wants. That's all these people want from like Hasan specifically, Asmon included.
Oh my God, why?
Is inevitably going to yield violent retaliation.
So
this
was it justified?
Something that is completely avoidable.
Was it justified?
Civilian deaths are never justified.
You know what, Hasan?
Hang on, Emily.
You look Hirsch Goldberg, Poland's mother in the eyes. No, you look this person's mother in the eyes.
Oh God. The thing is that what I find to be so frustrating about this is that what Hasan is saying isn't really wrong. Yeah, if you fuck with people for a long time and they hate you, there's eventually going to be a negative reaction. It's like he's giving a reason, but he's acting like it's an excuse.
Okay, what do you think, Asmon? Genuinely, what do you think they should do? What do you think they should do? I want to know. Somebody clip this right now so I can post it on Twitter and at this fucking moron. What do you think Palestinians should do? Legitimately. I don't understand. If you claim to understand the historical precedent of an occupation for 75 years, and you claim to understand how Palestinians would feel at the end of that 75-year period, what is your solution? Legitimately. Maybe you know something that Hamas doesn't know. Maybe you have the secret sauce. You haven't tried yet. Yeah, even one of his shadows like, are you against nuanced answers? Why does it have to be a yes or no? Yeah.
At least like that's the, I don't know, like maybe that's not what he's trying to say, but that's definitely the way it comes off as.
Optics.
It's a taking time pump. Yeah. It's not justified, but it's inevitable. Exactly. Yeah.
And you tell him that this was justified.
Oh my God.
You tell him his arm being blown off and being held in captivity for 200 days is justified.
I do love that the Israel defender has no capacity to fucking hear anything I'm saying.
Palestinians who are made
what are
of
you talking
identity.
about? It just, if you're not going to respect me
You
and
think
listen
that
to what
we're
I have to
occupying
say,
the West
which by
Bank?
the way,
You
of course
think
you
we
don't
occupied
respect.
Gaza?
Oh, if you talk
Look what
over each other,
happened.
nobody can
I'll
hear you.
keep
I just
speaking
want
over
to
you.
give-
That's what you
It's
do.
not
I just
I
wanna
think.
give
It's not I
Hasan-
think. It's the entire
Hasan-
world knows.
No, it is you
Okay?
think.
It's
Hang
the
on.
entire world
Only thing
Emily,
that
please.
promotes your
Bring crackhead Barney back.
narrative.
Let me handle this, Emily. Hassan, just before I come to the two people who are
Let
with
me
here,
handle
I
this,
just-
Emily. Listen, Emily, I'm on your side. I can take down Hasan for both of us. Please, like, stop yelling. I can take her down. I can take him down.
I just need some clarity here
Oh,
because it seems
God.
like you're dancing around whether you think October the
Piers,
7th was
why
justified
are we
or not.
doing this? Why are we doing this back and forth masturbation? I've already given you
Yeah,
my
Piers,
fucking
why are you
position.
doing this?
I'm
He's
sick and
happy.
tired
It's
of
Jews
repeating
being
over and over
killed.
again.
Okay, I
Because
just-
it's Jews, it's okay.
Ask this
Emily,
demon
stop
next to
talking.
me
It's
wearing a
okay.
fucking
Come back
IDF
to you.
dog
Only
tag.
when it's Jews, it's okay.
Please
We're
stop
not
This
going
shouting
fucking
on.
each
demon next
other.
to me wearing an IDF dog tag.
He could see himself and he realized he was pointing in the wrong direction. I guarantee fucking to you because I do that on my stream.
If she
Yeah.
actually thinks Israel's
No,
actions are
bring them
justifiable,
home.
Yeah.
do you
It's
see
to
me
bring the
rocking
hostages
the fucking
home. The hostages
All
that
right,
you
you're talking
rightly
over each
believe
other.
belong in
All
the
right. You know what
tunnels
it
of
is.
Gaza.
I'm going to
know
give you
why
two.
it looks
I'm going to
that
let
way.
you two
Bring
calm
them
down.
the
It's
same
pointless.
IDF
We
tag.
cannot hear you when you talk over each other.
Troll people.
Every time recently, I have someone
Okay.
from both sides on. Like it goes like this.
I'm wearing this rusty necklace.
Please,
because
can you
there are
listen to me,
200 Israeli
Emily?
Civilians
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Gaza
yeah.
right now.
Can you
as
stop
hostages.
doing this to each
Hey,
other, please?
Emily,
Nobody
Emily,
can
Emily,
understand a
can you
word
condemn the
either of you are
actions of
saying.
Israel?
Now, let me come to Esther and James here. This is one of my problems.
No, I want to
actually.
hear if Emily condemns
No,
the
no,
actions of
Hasan,
Israel.
Here we go.
And it's
Holy
interesting.
shit,
And
man.
like, whenever it asks to condemn the IDF, it's always, we got to move on. We got to move on. We got to move on.
You
Please
asked
let me
about that.
moderate the debate.
What do you ask about
I don't condemn
30,000
the
people
idea.
I've got two
killed?
I
panelists
condemn
here
the
who've not
fact
had a
that on
word
October
yet.
7th,
Because you're a
they
fucking
kidnapped
terrorist.
Please stop
civilians from their
talking.
homes. And I think you're a terrorist. And I think you're a terrorist
Yeah,
as well.
okay. Well, I'm not the one wearing.
Because
I'm
until
not
the
the one
hostages
wearing
are home-
Do you know what the problem is? It's that if either one of them let the other person talk, people would post the clip of the other person talking on Twitter and be like, wow, they don't even know what to say. Because I remember seeing that on like the, there was Destiny debated with this guy. I think his name was like Finkelstein or some shit like this.
I feel like if you don't even know who Norm Finkelstein is, like if you can pull Destiny's name out your mind, but you can't pull out Norm Finkelstein's name, maybe you should not be talking about this. What do I know though?
And this dude just goes like and roasts the fucking shit out of Destiny. And Destiny sat there and let him talk. And then everybody cut the clip after he got done talking. And they were like, wow, Destiny sure is stupid. It's like, oh my God. Twitter clips, man.
And this is what he's focusing on instead of like the substantive argument. Because again, keep in mind, Asmon doesn't know what an apartheid is. He cannot argue for or against apartheid. You know what I mean? He cannot argue for or against an apartheid because he's stupid. He doesn't know. Right? He just doesn't know. So he has to focus on these like weird, like meta like debate tactics or whatever. Right? You cannot like fathom that people actually care about things, even like this, you know, staunch genocidal Zionist or whatever. You cannot fathom that people actually care about things. It's always to make themselves look good at all. Like, and that's it. Galaxy, thank you for the subscription 15 minutes ago.
And this is what happens. Yeah, and it's not even proportional. It doesn't even make sense. It's so bad.
Don't expect the war to be over.
Yeah, I know.
Bring
you don't
them
care about
home.
the hostages. If
I
you care
love
about
how
the
you're
hostages,
condemning
you
me.
would
Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, do you see exactly what
Dog,
I'm saying?
I don't care. Get to the debate, please.
On
Benjamin
live
Netanyahu
television.
is the hostage
You are
killer.
exposing. No.
Benjamin
Excuse
Netanyahu
me.
has
You
killed
should
more
condemn
hostages
Hamas.
than
What do
You
you
need to be
think you're
condemning
achieving
Hamas
here?
for not only oppressing the Palestinian people, but for spreading terrorism. I don't see your outrage at Hamas. Israel gave Gaza
All right,
back
listen,
in
I would
2005,
like to, please.
and Hamas has turned
Can
this
you
into
both
a
please-
terrorist haven.
Emily and Hasan,
Hamas
can you
is
please
the
show
lesser
some
evil.
courtesy
Hamas
to
is
the other
the lesser
panelists?
evil in comparison to Israel.
Can you please stop talking, both of you, and let the other two panelists have a
You want
say?
a soundbite, Piers? I'll give you
Give
a
them some
soundbite.
courtesy, please. Some courtesy for your co-panelists here. Now, Esther, this is one of the problems I have with this whole debate, is that increasingly it just descends into a screaming match between pro-Palestinians and pro-Israelis.
And the biggest losers are the victims of this war. 33,000 dead Palestinians, over 1,500 dead Israelis. These are the biggest victims of this, because you're shouting at each other and nothing is getting like you.
And this is like what Piers wants, by the way. Like Piers is like, man, this is all it descends to. It descends to a shouting match. This is what Piers wants. Piers wants a shouting match. Piers wants a like discourse, which is why he's like pitting Emily and Hasan against each other. He's like, Hasan, condemn Hamas right now, right? And he spent 4 times telling Hasan to condemn Hamas. He could have moved on. He could have refocused the discussion. Hasan tried to refocus the discussion, but he went back to condemn Hamas, condemn Hamas, condemn Hamas, right? Consistently. The comments on the first video were eating Piers up for that.
Forget having no courtesy for us. You're completely disrespecting actual victims of this conflict, which, by the way, didn't happen in a vacuum. And I think that's the most important thing to say about this. None of this happened in a vacuum. Of course,
She's completely right. Yeah, she's totally right.
October the 7th was an atrocity, and it was completely unjustified. There was no justification for butchering people in the way that they did. But it didn't happen in a vacuum. A lot of the people that lived in Gaza weren't even born at the time that Hamas came in power. So I really I despise this. You're a terrorist sympathizer. You're a genocide supporter. All of this, when really the people that we should be talking about.
I think I completely agree with her. Like, this is, how can one person be so based? It's like the emotionally elevated.
She was like, I mean, I do think she is going in like a liberal, like both sides angle. Right? How would Asmon know if she's right? He's just like, cause she takes both sides. You know what I mean? That's why she's taking the both sides perspective. That's it. She said, you know, I'm not for this whole yelling, screaming match. The real victims are the actual people dying on both sides. And Asmon's like, there you go. There you go. She's better. I'm sure she does. And I don't think this is a terrible position to take as a way to like refocus the conversation. But like that's why Asmon agrees with it.
In rhetoric that's so high and so extreme that
yeah, exactly.
Like if you assume that somebody is like a genocider or, you know, something like that, like how can you really have a dialogue with that person?
Fuck you, Asmon.
It's just common sense. Yeah, it's just common sense. But that's why nobody's
no dialogue with Zionists.
Deserve better.
People are insane.
James.
You don't kill 35,000 people, upwards, you know, of 50,000, 55,000 by some numbers, as Sarah has said, and expect to have an equal dialogue.
On the wider point of these protests.
Well, I couldn't get to that part because I wanted to describe what the apartheid is, and Emily cut in immediately to chirp about some random shit.
Okay, you were both abusing each other. It was very unsatisfying.
It was very
let me ask James. James, on the protests.
Yeah, dude.
On the protests. Look, I believe in the right to protest. That's an absolute bedrock of any democracy. But I don't believe in the right to support terror groups publicly, or to chant about support for Hamas, or to chant about Intifada, which is a violent act.
I worry about saying that you can't support terror groups, because who decides what's a terror group?
You cannot say that by literally 10 minutes ago calling Hamas terrorists. Literally 10 minutes ago. He's correct. But he did just call Hamas terrorists. He's like, you know what? You know why they target civilians? Because they're terrorists. 10 minutes ago.
No, like what if they made people that were like 4chan users a terror group? Or something like that. I don't trust any organization to be able to accurately say what a terror group is. They low-key are, though? Yeah, no, and I know. I think everybody agrees, right? Everybody agrees that Hamas is pretty much a terror group. Like,
okay, so he's like, who can decide what's a terrorist group is? But also, Hamas is a terrorist group. Here's the real answer, Chad. The real answer that Asmon doesn't understand because Asmon is stupid. Terrorist is a political designation that serves a very specific political purpose, right? It's to designate somebody, whoever they are, whether they are morally correct or morally reprehensible. It is to designate somebody or some organization or some entity as against the hegemonic power of some kind, right? Whether that's the US itself, whether that's the United Nations, whether that's Israel, whether that's does not matter. Pick one. Corporation, corporate entities. It is to describe a group of people who are, whether that's the KKK, neo-Nazis in Charlottesville, or freaking BLM protesters, does not matter. It's to describe a group of people who are against the status quo, hegemonic, power at any instance, right? Right wing, left wing, does not matter. They call both of them a terrorist in order to maintain their hold on the status quo. That's it. That's all terrorist as a designation is used. It's useless. It is a useless designation. It is a useless designation. You feel me? Does Asmon think Ukrainians are terrorists because Putin calls them that? You assume he cares.
These are all terror groups, right? But I'm talking about like it being against the law to support it. That worries me. And I think that my concern is very valid. Remember the 2016 election? The 2020 election? This is legit. It's very easily.
What point is he making? What about the election? I'm confused.
That could happen.
Rising. Where's the line for you with this?
I agree. 6? I think we have to condemn what Hamas did.
Well, that has nothing to do with like terrorist designations. You know what I mean?
Don't think the words that have been used so far have been strong enough. I mean, it was the worst thing we've seen in a very long time. It was disgusting, appalling, awful.
What are you talking about?
I agree. I think we have to condemn what Hamas did, and I don't think the words that have been used so far have been strong enough. I mean, it was the worst thing we've seen in a very long time. It was disgusting, appalling, awful for everyone involved. I also have a lot of sympathy, if not, I can't think of a bigger word, for the people of Gaza. It's awful, and I will agree with you. I do want a free Palestine, and I also want a free and successful Israel, but I don't want innocent people murdered. So yeah, you can't go.
Okay, so you just want like a slow genocide. That's all it is. Right? Once you get past this crazy person, you arrive at this crazy person, right? Person being like, he's right. He's right to anything but Hasan. No, Asmon will say Hasan is right as well, right? It's not about no. Not everyone's right because he will say Hasan is correct as well, right? In most ways, this is. He just needs people to say both sides. He like literally needs people to directly say both sides are wrong. And if you say anything more than that, he disagrees with you, which is why, when she said both sides are wrong, he's like, okay. He said both sides are wrong. He's like, okay. When Hasan's like, well, you can't just say Hamas is wrong. He's like, all right, dog, listen, you're going too far there. Why can't you just say both sides is wrong like everybody else, right? So I don't think it's like a Hasan thing. I think it's more of he just can't handle nuance. I think he's too stupid.
To a protest and start shouting about support for Hamas. That's insane.
Isn't it ironic that something like this has become a haven for like the mentally unwell? You're talking about something as serious as a conflict in Israel and Gaza, and for some reason you have really uneducated people that are clearly like 20 years ago would have been in an asylum supporting this openly. Not.
Yep.
What do you mean? Yep, bro. The dog. There's a word that Asmon uses regularly that I myself do not use. But literally those words are used to describe people like Asmon himself. How are you just so dumb? Like you are somebody that you are the socially inept person who was completely uneducated about the conflict. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, literally, that's you. You are somebody who's totally uneducated. Like, come on.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay? I live when I believe.
Gold Gregory just subscribed. Asmon Bald.
Gold Gregory, thank you for the 7-month resubscription.
Fucking yep. That's a fact. Just so paced, yes.
Not even knowing the conflict, not even knowing the context of what they're supporting. And for some reason, we even give it airtime. That's what upsets me. These people don't deserve airtime.
Right? Everyone is so triggered on both sides, on all sides, and rightly so, because a lot of terrible stuff has happened. So that's where the emotion is coming from.
It's not rightfully so. The moment that you can't control your emotions and then your emotions lead to bad actions that hurt other people, it's your fault. There's really no...
Except for me. I am an impartial, emotionless monster. I totally am fine with 35,000 Palestinians being killed and murdered. Totally chill with it. I don't think people are mean enough to Asmon Gold. I'm gonna say it. I don't think people are mean enough to Asmon Gold. I think because he is the, a very big prominent voice in OTK, a group that people love, that has a lot of people that people do enjoy, like Nika Melina, like Emaru, like Extra Emily, like Seer. I think people give him a lot of grace that he does not deserve. I'm gonna be completely real and honest. Completely real and honest. People are not as mean to Asmon Gold as they should. Will OTK annoys me? I don't want to say most of OTK. I think most of OTK is chill. There are voices in OTK that I'm just not fond of. You know what I mean? But like in the creator space, you kind of just gotta take a step back and deal with the people you don't like. You know what I mean? You feel me? Lest you make enemies. So like a big person that people do that for is like Miskiff, right? You have a lot of people who are not fond of Miskiff, but Miskiff collabs with like Emaru and Extra Emily and Pokimane and Ray and the rest of the OTK people. And so like you don't like Miskiff, that's an L you gotta take because Miskiff is gonna be everywhere. And the same is like with like Asmon.
Fine print to that at all. And anybody that doesn't believe that hasn't been on the receiving end of it. The people that believe that it's okay to act that way are people who are either acting that way at the current time or have never been a victim to it. The truth is that no, it's not okay. Emotions
really,
aren't like
all want the same thing, and that
it's
is
not
for
a pardon,
people to
you know?
not be murdered or slain in the streets.
Right. I mean, look, Hasan.
But
hang on,
can I ask
Emily.
you-
Please, I'll come to you. Let me just ask Hasan. When you and Emily go at each other like you just did, nobody wins. I mean, no one can really understand a word you're saying because you're shouting over each other.
Yeah.
You end up just calling each other terrorists.
What does this solve, though? Talking about the minutia of a debate tactic during this Palestine debate? Like, that's so stupid. It's so dumb. Why is he refocusing on this? It does not make sense. He's like, all right, I'm going to refocus. Emily, calm down. Hasan, when you yell at Emily, do you not feel a little bit silly? You may answer now. Like, what?
There's no.
No, but like it's like what I said. Like I feel like they have to do that because of the way that social media portrays a respectable debate. They'll just wait for the person that they don't like to not talk and then clip that part and be like, wow, I knew they were stupid. And that's it. Public opinion.
Like, whatever.
And yeah, it's like they're not doing this. Like I think both of them know that this style of conversation is unproductive and bad.
Sensible dialogue here. There's no constructive conversation.
Yeah, I think so.
It's just two implacably opposed sides
I think
abusing each other. Do you understand that?
Yeah, listen, Piers, okay? This is going to always be a very heated discussion, okay? Having a conversation about how heated this discussion is utterly unproductive.
Thank you. Literally, that's my take. That is literally my take. Literally my take. It's so stupid to be like trying to have a discussion on how bad the discussion is. Like what?
Every single moment that we use on air, not talking about every single university building being desecrated, destroyed. The fact that we're having this conversation on the eve of hundreds of mass.
I don't really give a fuck about what Palestine's problems are or Israel's problems are. But
fuck you.
But if somebody is blocking the road, I do care. And I will tell you also that if they are blocking the road and I'm trying to get through the road, I will reflexively be against them. Like, what are you for?
I won't add him.
Okay, let's vote against it. Because people don't have that right. I don't think that they do. And the law agrees with me, and I think most normal people agree with me. I get that the issues are important, but this is, again, the problem that I think people have, is that they think that because they are so outraged about the way something is happening in the world, that they have the moral mandate to break the law and to hurt other.
The law. Didn't he move to Texas? Like, whatever. Never mind. He would hate MLK in the 60s. Yes. He would have hated the civil rights movement. I want to tweet this. People have already said it better than I.
Other people that really aren't even involved with it. This is an extremely toxic mindset, and I think that it's been going on now for like almost 10 years.
Graves being unearthed right now in in many different parts of Gaza around hospitals that Israel had laid siege to is disgusting. I agree. I came on here, as I have done last time as well, and as I will probably do in the future as well, with one simple goal in mind, which is
somebody says if it's not disruptive, it's ignored. If it is disruptive, it's also bad. Like, just because somebody is giving you attention doesn't mean that you're right. I understand that you think that you have the right to do that, but what if everybody else disagrees with you? What gives you the unique moral authority to break the law because of...
No shot did he upload this thinking he looks good.
They say that I'm good enough.
Right?
Think about shit that I shouldn't.
I'm tripping, right? I'm literally tripping. What did the comments say? It's just people just being like, you know, wow, people are so dumb. If it's not disruptive, it's not a protest. Basically translate, I can't get anyone to agree with me, so I'll harass them until they do. I need to not post. I need to not post. I need to not post. I will post something that will get me in trouble. I will post something that quite literally will get me in trouble.
The boy's a liar.
He's telling lies.
The boy's a liar.
Say your goodbye.
He doesn't see it. You're not looking at me, boy.
John, thank you for the 12-month subscription. Christo follow, thank you for the follow. Ted Ward, thank you for the follow. And No Demon, thank you for the follow as well. I just got here in that first sentence. Oh, here, I'll run it back. I'll run it back. This is the best part.
graves being unearthed right now.
Sick mindset. People don't have that right.
About how heated this discussion is going to always have. This is going to always be a very heated discussion. Yeah. Okay, having a conversation about how heated this discussion is utterly unproductive. Every single moment that we use on air, not talking about every single university building being desecrated, destroyed. The fact that we're having this conversation on the eve of hundreds of mass.
I don't really give a fuck about what Palestine's problems are or Israel's problems are, but if somebody is blocking the road, I do care. And I will tell you also that if they are blocking the road and I'm trying to get through the road, I will reflexively be against them. Like, what are you for? Okay, let's vote against it. Because people don't have that right. I don't think that they do. And the law agrees with me, and I think most normal people agree with me.
Like, in truly, how much value? I mean, like genuinely. What if we all just like collectively and like we wouldn't have no problems at all? I feel like if you have this take, we should just be a You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what we should be allowed to do. I genuinely. If you have the take of like, I don't care about Palestine, I don't care about Israel, but if you inconvenience my life, then it's a problem. I think we should inconvenience your life. I think we could inconvenience your life. Honestly, I think we could inconvenience your life. I think your life should be inconvenienced and not being very close by. That's my take. This makes me madder than Emily. This makes me madder than Tyler Broakley. And this makes me madder than Piers Morgan. Somebody who has this take makes me madder than any of these people on this panel right now. Because genuinely, if you don't want to be inconvenienced by people protesting for Palestine, what's stopping you from just, like, quite literally? Nobody's stopping you from, like, quite literally nobody's stopping you from just finding and locating your and then doing what you should do. Like, I don't think the world would be that bad if I don't think the world would lose anything of value I'll say it. I'll say it. Nobody else will say it. I'll say it. The world would be better off.
I get that the issues are important, but this is, again, the problem that I think people have, is that they think that because they are so outraged about the way something is happening in the world, that they have the moral mandate to break the law.
Yes. Yes, you do. That's what I'd say. That's my take. You do. Somebody's committing a genocide. You are actually not even have the moral mandate. You are morally obligated to break the law. You are morally obligated to break the law. Morally obligated to break the law, whatever law stands in the way of stopping a genocide from being occurred. Apply this to any atrocity in human history. Apply this to the transatlantic slave trade. Apply this to the Holocaust. And I say this as well. Any person that stands in the way of people stopping a genocide, any person that positions themselves in neutrality to said genocide, deserve what those laws deserve as well. That's what I'll say.
And to hurt other people that really aren't even involved with it. This is an extremely toxic mindset, and I think that it's been going on now for like almost 10 years.
Graves being unearthed right now in many different parts of Gaza around hospitals that Israel had laid siege to is disgusting. I agree. I came on here, as I have done last time as well, and as I will probably do in the future as well, with one simple goal in mind, which is...
Somebody says if it's not disruptive, it's ignored. If it is disruptive, it's also...
And he doesn't engage with that, right? He doesn't engage with that. He's like, if it's not disruptive, it's ignored. He's like, if it is disruptive, it's against the law. Therefore, it's bad.
Bad. Like,
I wanted to upload this as a YouTube video, chat. Me reacting to Asmon Gold talking about Israel and Palestine. I don't think I can. I think this will be banned off of YouTube if I were to upload this video.
Because somebody is giving you attention doesn't mean that you're right. I understand that you think that you have the right to do that, but what if everybody else disagrees with you? What gives you the unique moral authority to break the law because of what you believe in?
We'll cut out all the bad stuff. We'll cut out all the bad stuff. People copy strike you too. He can't copyright me because he doesn't own this clip either. He does not own it. This Piers Morgan owns it. Piers Morgan can copy strike me. So I can't stream a good class so quickly. This is why I have the button. I keep that around just for this reason.
What gives you...
Do you know Morse code? That's all I know. Yeah, literally, someone says, so MLK was bad. Yeah. It's literally in our Constitution.
You have the right to do that. Well, you don't have that.
SOS, yes.
Right. So don't be surprised whenever people get you out of the fucking road and arrest you. It's narcissistic and entitled. That's insane. It's like these people think that the world revolves around their issue. There's thousands of issues in the world. Is Israel-Palestine the only place where bad things are happening? Look at Ukraine. No. What if everybody...
Yeah, and we are giving weapons to Ukraine but we're also giving weapons to Israel. But also, Asmon doesn't care about any of that. You think he cares about other issues? No, of course not. He doesn't care about anything but himself. He doesn't care about anything but himself. There's never been a time I wish Hamas in America existed as much as conservatives think they do than I wish it did right now. There is no Hamas in America, but there's never been a time I wish there was more than this exact moment. Because man, oh man, what do you think the line is for harassment against other streamers? What do you mean? Is Al-Qaeda not the same? Al-Qaeda is lame. Big L for Al-Qaeda. All they do is harass black people and stuff. How much will streamers tolerate before they cut ties with Asmon? All of it? This isn't even a blip on the radar. Other streamers don't even talk about Israel and Palestine. They also don't care. Not really. You know what I mean? There is no line for like other streamers. Da 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 bum 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 bum. Oh wait, Pokey. I said yeah, they don't say shit. Yeah. It doesn't mean they're like you know like Zionists or like they're pro, you know, or Israel or whatever. But like we had this conversation about with like Brittany Broski or whatever. I just hope they don't donate privately or something. I know Ray shouted out Hasan's fundraiser. When I was watching Ray one stream. Even Pokey both sided it. Wait, Pokey even talked about it at all? I feel people were blocking highways because they're adding a non-binary character to Overwatch. Asmon would be for it. I disagree. Hate to defend Asmon here. I disagree. I genuinely think Asmon only cares about the optics. I don't think Asmon cares about who does it. You know what I mean? Asmon's one of the people that I think truly is in the middle of every issue, which makes him equally as stupid for every cause. He literally does not care about anything, right? Because there are people who are truly transphobic who care a lot about like trans people in video games or whatever, or rainbow flags and stuff, right? I don't think Asmon truly cares about literally anything at all. He went on that woke charade BS not long ago. He did. But he'll also, like, even in his tirades, like, against, like, wokeness, he'll be like, I also don't understand why people are so mad about this. They let people live their life. You know what I mean? He's like that. He's absolutely right-wing. Sure. But he's, like, full centrist. Full centrist. Centrists are right-wingers, yes. But like he will position himself directly on the center of every issue. I just like you weren't able to tell the streamers to die live on Twitch. I never did that. So I would never wish harm across any streamer. Streamers are terrified of saying anything that isn't the norm of regular libs or con arguments. True. I will. centrists with our Overton window are basically right wing. This is true.
That way. The world would be chaos. You can't realistically act that way. It doesn't matter what you think is effective or not. Just because something, you don't have the right to make an effective protest based off of the rules that you invent. That's insane. If it's not disruptive, then nobody is going to care about it. Well, if nobody cares about it, maybe you should think about the reason.
Look, you promoted boycotting Starbucks and said she was also. Whatever happened to the her both sides of it? I didn't hear Pokey say anything about Palestine at all. I don't think Asmon is a true centrist. I genuinely think he's because it brings in most views without seeming too out there. She didn't both sides it. Mintaka, thank you for the follow. Also, Kets, Una, thank you for the follow as well. No, you bleeped it about 2 minutes ago. You were here watching, probably. What do you mean? I think you're projecting, actually.
Why that is.
Posted about Palestine a bit on her Instagram a while back.
To address all of the misinformation that surrounds stuff like this. As far as the crackhead Barbie thing goes, yeah, she's a random TikTok influencer who gives a shit about what she has to say. She's obviously doing it for clout. But the students over at Columbia, okay, the students that I have talked to at the Columbia University Apartheid Divest group, the students that I've talked to from Jewish Voice for Peace.
All right, Emily, let me just ask you again.
Just cut them off. Yep, there it is. Why is it our business? What are your thoughts on civil rights? People always try to bring up civil rights. This isn't civil rights.
What? What?
Get out of the road.
Bro, how can you be so stupid? My tweet is objectively correct. Where's my tweet at? It's around here somewhere. Objectively correct. I've never missed in my life. Yes, when I think of people with a well-versed understanding of civic action, I think of Asmongold. He's like, yeah, bro, Palestine is not a civil rights issue. Sure, Jam. Sure. If it makes you feel better.
Stop occupying private businesses. Get out.
Like, what is he talking about? Is he talking about the colleges? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what he's talking about. And again, I also don't think he knows what he's talking about. I truly do not believe he knows anything about what's going on. Literally at all. Like, at all. I think he's just making stuff up.
Out of the road. There's no nuance to this at all. Get out of the road, stop breaking the law, and that's it. I don't care what your reason is. The civil disobedience? No, it's not.
Yes, it is. You cannot like it, but it is civil disobedience. I need Asmon to literally just describe anything. Describe anything. Literally anything he talks about. Give me the definition of civil rights, the definition of civil disobedience, the definition of protest, literally anything. Please, I beg of you, give me the definition of literally anything. Literally anything.
Civil disobedience, no. You're standing in the road, making it harder for ambulances to go through the road.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, you think you're doing a sit-in protest? No. What you're doing is you're taking up space at restaurants where normal, well-meaning white people just want to eat. How dare you do a sit-in, right? Where families have to try to feed their kids. You think you're doing a bus boycott, but really all you're doing is you're just making it harder for public transportation to work. Literally, you can apply this to any protest at all. It's so funny.
No, this is not justifiable. I don't care what your rationalizations for the Revolutionary War and, oh, we're revolutionaries, or it's like civil rights. It doesn't matter. Get out of the road. Stop breaking the law.
Whoa. He's saying it doesn't matter, but he just said before that it was not civil rights. He's like, is this literally civil rights? No, it's not. No, it's not. Now he's saying it's like civil rights. It doesn't matter if it's like civil rights. That his chat is insufferable too. You are actively killing people by protesting? Bro, what? This is the meme, right? This person's joking. I do not believe somebody could be so stupid. Do not believe somebody could be so stupid.
Law, stop destroying property, and that's it. And I think that I speak for a lot of people here that whenever I see a person doing that, I want them removed. I don't care what their reasoning is. I don't care why they think they have the authority to do this. It doesn't matter to me. It has nothing to do with this. How many of you guys agree with that?
What do people have to take the ambulance? Show me one credible time where an ambulance like could not take somebody because a protest was happening. Then I'll answer your question. He's about to talk about this. He's talking about roads being blocked. I don't know what that chatter meant then. There's no credible instances where like they're like blocking ambulances from going to wherever they're going. But again, later on, he cries about like not letting minimum wage workers, you know, get to their jobs or whatever. And yes, we'll get to the Atlanta police thing.
Everybody, yep. And I think also a lot of people that have these, you know, like these freedom fighter delusions, they don't really believe these things. I don't think that anybody almost actually believes these things.
What?
Because if it
What?
was your property being destroyed, if it was your house being damaged.
Show me one house. Show me one piece of property. Literally name one. Name one. Anyone. Name a single piece of property that has been destroyed by a pro-Palestinian protester. Please. Please name one. Name one. Desperately hope Hasan responds to this on stream. I don't think he will. If you want me to be entirely honest, I don't think he will. Hasan doesn't respond to like specifically like fellow streamer stuff. Right? Unless somebody's like, here's Asmon Gold like agreeing with you, Hasan doesn't watch streamer stuff. Someone talked about this in his Discord. What did he say? It's very clear like a line that he takes. because these are his peers, these are his colleagues, right? And as I said before, people are just going to ask me like, what do I think? Like, when I think like other streamers will like stop, dealing with Asmongold. And I said it won't happen because these are colleagues, they're not necessarily friends, but they're coworkers. Never goes in on anyway against Charlie Asmon or any other response these executives have. Yeah. Or like Muda. At most, he'll do like an offhanded like remark or something. But he doesn't like actively, mostly because I don't think he wants to like pit two groups of content creators against each other. Right? It just won't be good. Right, because Destiny's community is so insular, it's a bit different than like going after like Asmongold or you know, Charlie or Muda or whatever. Yeah. I should have asked, but he's fine. He's just a little Reddit motivated. I don't care that he has takes on my opinion of Palestine. Exactly. That's how I'm talking about it. Which is fine. It's Hasan's prerogative to not talk about it. I will be talking about it though. So that's an L. I will be talking about it. But there is a reason why not just Hasan, but other very large streamers don't, you know, specifically go after other large streamers. You will never see like Ludwig going after Asmon or like Nick going after like Hasan or really stuff like that. Hasan's a bit different, but or like Hasan going after like Charlie or Muda or whatever. It won't happen. That's the same with Ethan. Ethan's a bit different, but yeah, it is kind of the same with Ethan. Just because it just won't end well for anybody. If one sees to target Hasan though, Hasan's a bit different because Hasan is just be like an open, like a very easy target to take for these people. I think it's stupid to do because they just paint the anti-Palestine picture and no big streamer responds to it. The default mindset is their daughter's opinions. I think, yeah, but I understand why Hasan wouldn't. It won't end well for either community if we do like a huge campaign against like Asmongold or whatever. Where you're pitting like 3 million people versus 3 million people. And I don't know if one, that's the best way to like change like Asmongold's mind if that's what your goal is. Or two, it's not going to make you look good for the, you know, the other audience of streamers. Right? And so I understand why Hasan isn't or doesn't go after Asmongold. But saying all that, I do think that it's important for us to combat the harmful notions and rhetoric that they put out, which is why I talked about Ethan when Ethan was going crazy. And I'm talking about Asmon now, right? That's why I believe I exist as a space that's not very large as a leftist creator. Hasan won't do it, so we need to vent our frustration. Somehow, you guys can come here to do that. And that's the space that I've occupied for the last couple months in this way. I don't know, Pizza, thank you for the follow. Yeah. And so I think Hasan has a very specific goal, and like attacking Asmongold is not going to fulfill that goal specifically. And so I get it. I understand it. Yeah, let's continue. That's what I realized when Ethan gotta come here and vent. Yeah. I do think that it is a bit sad that that's not necessarily what my space has become, because I said that's what I'm here for, but more in like, that's more what I've been known for. So people do come here as a space to vent, and not when I do other content that I find that I think is enjoyable and I think it's fun content. It's like people like come here for the drama, but it is what it is. I don't know, maybe Hasan could turn some normies reacting to Asmon. I don't think it would. I'm gonna be 100% honest. Respect and take you as General Ghost streamed as well. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. I do think it would be helpful to break down this rhetoric, but I mean, you look at like Asmon's chat, for example. I don't think Hasan is winning people over by taking the opposing position to Asmongold. Especially, I don't know how valuable it would be when Asmongold isn't necessarily like Asmon isn't pissing me off because Asmon is being a Zionist or whatever. You know what I mean? He's not pissing me off because he's like so pro-Israeli. He's pissing me off because of his fence sitting. And obviously it's always good to call out fence sitting when it happens, but is it more beneficial to call out fence sitting all the time than to actively push back against Zionist rhetoric? Probably not. I disagree it's possible if at least a few people change their mind, it'd be worth it. Yeah, but is it worthwhile taking up space from other content in order to do so, while you could be educating people about the Columbia protests or whatever? You know what I mean? I think gives me more of a place for collective deep breaths and fun. Yeah, I need deep breaths sometimes too.
If it was your work that you are now late to because of these things, you would be very angry and very upset, and you would want it stopped.
But like, again, that's the point though. Yes, you're not saying anything new, right? You're not saying anything new. The point is to make you mad. It is to make you angry. And the point is to be like, okay, I'm mad at these people. Government, give them what they want. Please. Please, you made me late for my job for the third time. Give these people what they want. Columbia, I don't care why they're mad or whatever, but like, please just give them what they want, dog. That's it. That's what the point is. This is a crazy edit. I actually thought this was Asmon for a second. Crazy thing is, this guy just plays WoW there. He doesn't leave the house.
They're LARPing. Yes, they're completely LARPing. And if this was actually, if they had to be a victim of it,
Bro,
they would immediately be crying about it and complaining.
You don't even know what LARPing is. You don't even know what LARPing is, dog. You don't know. You don't know.
You want to hear a good example? The Canada truck protests. The same people that were making these same arguments were doing the exact opposite.
Incorrect. Incorrect, because the Canada truck protest was literally LARPing. For the most part, we didn't stand the truckers. There were some, I gotta say, there were some truckers who were like, dog, we want Trump. It was so crazy with right-wing thing. The Nazi ones. I think he's talking about the Nazi ones. Not like American truckers or whatever. I think he's talking about like the weird right-wing trucking companies or whatever. It was weird. But like you don't like truckers at all. Yeah, the Freedom Convoy, that one. They were protesting mask mandates, dog. Like, come on. Come on. Canada convoy protests. A series of protests and blockades in Canada against COVID-19 vaccine mandates and restriction, called the Freedom Convoy by organizers, began in early 2022. Like, nobody was mad at this because, like, oh, we can't get our goods or whatever. Oh, we can't, you know, we can't get our stuff for the protests. It makes us so sad. Supply chain, like, no, nobody was mad at it because of that, right? People were being like, this is stupid because you're protesting vaccine mandates. And I don't know. I think that 35,000+ Palestinians being slaughtered is a bit more valid than being like, I don't want to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Personally. But this is what centrists do, right? This is the same way or same reason why the term terrorist operates as it is. It serves as a way to group all people who are on the fringes, on the edges, on the far sides of the political spectrum together as the same thing. And they're not, right? The same reason why they consider like KKK members and neo-Nazis terrorists, but also like Hamas as terrorists, even though ideologically one is fighting for more oppression of marginalized people and one is fighting against oppression. Or like Antifa is a better example than Hamas, right? They put neo-Nazis and Antifa on the same, you know, pedestal as terrorists when they are fighting for ideologically opposite things. One are fascists fighting for fascism, and the other are anti-fascists fighting for anti-fascism. They're not the same. In the same way that people fighting for Palestinians are not the same as truckers being like, don't get me the jab. I don't want to get the jab. You know what I mean?
There's no actual principle to this at all. And again, I think that the best way that you can look at is an idea a good idea or a bad idea is that if everybody does this thing, would the world be able to function?
What?
And the truth is that
no. That's such a stupid metric for something good or bad. That's a dumb metric for whatever something's good or bad. Like, literally, you pick anything. Okay, if everybody, you know what I mean, had no rights, would the world still be able to function? I think so. That's a good thing then. Like, that's a stupid metric. His philosophy 101, he's trying to do except it would be good if everybody protested because it would mean there'd be no mass murder, aka good outcome, and genuinely brain dead. Everyone's a doctor who would grow the food. Surely we should take the wisdom of a dead rat alarm clock guy as gospel. Dead rat alarm.
that if every
dead rat alarm clock guy. Okay.
single time that somebody thought that what they believe in is bad, and they thought that gave them the moral authority to protest and break the law, everything would be chaos. You could not exist in a society like that. So stop doing it. It's that simple. What do you do whenever voting doesn't matter and the government doesn't care? What do you do whenever you...
He doesn't answer. You notice whenever somebody in his chat has a good rebuttal, he never answers. He never answers. He just flips it back around and see, doesn't sound that good in that way. He's like, look, what if people are like protesting against Nazis? What if Nazis are protesting? Checkmate, liberal. Like, how do you argue with somebody like this? I don't know. At this point, I'm past the point of being mad, and now it's funny. You know what I mean? Now it's funny. If Asmon had to actually debate with Hasan, God forbid he would be demolished. Yeah, but he won't. That's the thing. He would be like demolished in that like Hasan would like, you know, pretty adequately like disrupt his like arguments. But Asmon wouldn't do it. Hasan wouldn't do it. So it doesn't matter. The only people who debate are the people who would debate people who they know they can win against. So like it's why you see XQC debating Aiden Ross, and why like Hasan's not there, or like any trans person's not there, right?
You lose the vote. Maybe voting doesn't matter because people don't care about your issue enough.
Yeah. If that was the case, which no. But if that was the case, how would you get them to get them to care about the issue? I genuinely think he's just saying words now. Like I'm flabbergasted with how far off the hinges his arguments have gotten. He's just saying stuff.
And because people don't care about your issue, that doesn't give you the right to be annoying and to disrupt their lives and destroy property in the hopes that maybe they might care about your issue afterwards.
But again, nobody is doing that. Legally protest, holy, don't break the law. I genuinely want to have a conversation with these people to figure out what they think a legal protest is. Legitimately. What do you think a legal protest is? I don't know. What, like, you think your legal protest is tweeting? Because either the same people will say like tweeting isn't practice or whatever. Tweeting isn't doing anything. You're just tweeting or whatever. Because you can't block the roads, so you can like hold a sign on the street unless that's private property. In which case you have to leave the private property. And unless somebody asks you to leave and the police come, and in which case you can't do that either. Like what is a legal protest? I don't understand.
That's not the way it works. This is so reductive and oversimplifying. No, it's not.
I mean, yeah, it is.
And also, it is reductive, and it actually, you know what? It is. Are you breaking the law? Yes. Are you blocking the roads? Yes. Okay, then you're wrong.
You cannot tell me this person was going to be for the civil rights movement. You can't. You can't. You can't. You cannot tell me this person is for the civil rights movement. You can't. Oh, this is a good clip, actually. I stand by this. Dude is a former hall monitor or something. Unreal. This is how I feel about Asmon Gold.
Hundreds of mass.
I don't really give a fuck about what Palestine's problems are or Israel's problems are. But
fuck you. That's my take.
Did you have a permit? No? Okay, then you're wrong. It's that simple.
Bro, she said get a permit. Get a permit. Yeah, dog. Yeah, dog. Let me just get a permit for a protest. Let me just like file with my county that I'm going to be like protest. We're gonna block off the street so they can get like detours so nobody sees it. So we can like walk and march where nobody's there. You know what I mean? That's that. Like, what does he think protests are for? I don't think he understands. I don't think he understands. Truly.
Stop doing it. That's it. A lot of people say voting doesn't work because they lose votes. That's what happens, guys. Imagine what would happen if every single time an election happened or something gets passed or doesn't get passed, and the people that, well, I guess I say, imagine what happens. Look at January 6th. Imagine if that happened after every single election or every single vote. This would be insane.
What?
The world would be burning out. Yes, it's like nobody thinks about this at all.
I don't even know what he's trying to say. I'll be real and honest. I don't know.
Literally lose their livelihoods from being late to work. Some companies are not understanding.
Find me one. Stop dealing with hypotheticals. Find me a single person. A single person who was fired because a protester blocked the road. A single one. A literal single one. Just one. Just one. Just one. One person. Find me a single instance of pro-Palestinian worker or protesters destroying property. It must happen. You must have examples. If you're so confident that it's happened, you must have examples.
We weren't able to vote whether we wanted more tax dollars or guns to go to Israel or Ukraine, though. But you voted on the people who voted on it, though.
No.
You sure did.
Okay, so Asmon is like a staunch communist, anti-electoralism. You vote for Trump, he'll do the same thing. You vote for Biden, he'll also do the same thing. Okay, he just has no idea. He has no clue how electoralism works. No idea. No idea. No idea at all.
Did.
The same thing I asked Hasan. When you guys scream at each other...
No, I didn't. Well, then we'll vote next time. Vote next time.
What? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Literally, he's the stupidest person I've ever seen in my life. The stupidest person I've ever seen in my life. The dumbest person. The dumbest person. The dumbest person. The dumbest person. Vote for who? Asmon. Bro said, it's your fault. This is all your fault. You voted for this. Somebody was like, I didn't vote for this. Well, you should have voted for this. What should I eat, chat? I'm hungry. This is making me hungry. Thank you.
I mean, get out of the road. That way you won't have to worry about it.
Should I get a pizza?
Yeah, spend less time in the middle of the road, spend more time at the ballot box, and maybe you won't have that problem.
Okay, Polygon Primitive. I'll look at your stupid link, dog. I saw it the first time.
Olamam. Olamayız.
That's so nasty.
He's holding it? Chat, this isn't the first time he's doing this. He's holding it. Chat, how do you know what roaches do? How do you know if they don't like do some weird shit? Like he's had some before. Cause look, ew.
So gross. It's so gross. Yo, the attic is infested with them too. Roaches are not running solo dolo, right? Yeah. This is the one. It's the one lone roach. The single lone roach.
Call each other terrorists. It doesn't obviously achieve anything other than it becomes unintelligible to the audience. You know, is there not a better way we can have this conversation?
Funnily enough, correct. And funnily enough, I have the same exact answer as Hasan. My job here is to make sure that I'm debunking false narratives that Hasan is clearly spewing. My job here is to call out hypocrisy. And I just saw another one where he's saying that crackhead Barney, whoever the hell that girl was, is a lunatic, but Aaron Bushnell, who lights himself on fire, is a hero. You can't pick and choose whatever fits your narrative. And I keep...
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
I keep on repeating that over and over again because the Palestinian movement will...
This is a crazy thing. People are really fixated on this whole point of a protest is to disrupt. You guys are really fixated on this.
Yeah, because it's true.
I can guarantee you that if conservatives do that, you're going to be crying. You will be. You'll be crying. Or if you know, the Israelis are...
He's talking about January 6th? Yes. He's talking about January 6th. You know what? Pizza sounds pretty good.
Jewish people do that, you will be crying so much. You don't really believe this. You only believe it because it serves your interests.
Yes, because good things are good and bad things are bad. Sorry, Asmongold. I, unlike you, apparently, draw a distinction between people who don't want Palestinians to die and Nazis. You might think they're the same, but they're not the same because you don't care about Palestinian lives. I care about Palestinian lives. I also care about the lives of other marginalized people. Therefore, Nazis bad, pro-Palestinians good. It's about the moral cause you are fighting for. This is exactly what Hasan was saying, right? You can't just take an action and attribute an action as good or bad. Actions don't happen in a vacuum. Actions happen as a result of numerous things. And actions that result from bad things, right? Actions that result from, bigotry are bad actions. Actions that result from moral positions and fighting for the rights and liberties of people are good actions. Hot take, baby. I don't know. This is true. You didn't just fall out of a coconut tree. What should I eat?
It's completely self-referential ethics. The moment that somebody does this and views it and they think that, oh, well, I'm, now I'm being disruptive, so it's okay. You're going to lose your fucking mind.
Yeah, no, because it's not the act itself that is bad. It's the moral framework behind it. Very obviously so. But again, none of this matters because Asmongold does not care one way or the other. He just said it earlier. He doesn't care about Israel or Palestine or what either group of people want, which allows him to take a, impartial view, looking just at the action devoid of any context. If you look at Nazis and conservatives and them protesting mask mandates, yes, they're silly and stupid, even if they do the exact same thing that pro-Palestinian people or BLM protesters are doing, because their root moral framework is wrong.
That's why it doesn't work. Because it's not their pet issue. Yeah, that's the blunt truth. Look at January 6th. What do you think they thought they were doing? They thought they were doing the same thing that you think you're doing.
Doesn't matter what they think. They're morally wrong. Trying to coup the government to institute a fascist dictator is morally wrong. But guess what? If leftists did January 6th in order to stop fascists from taking power, it would not be the same thing. Very obviously so. You can disagree with the action itself, but you cannot equivocate the morality between the two. You can't. You can't say that they are the same thing. They're not the same thing.
Look at Charlottesville. Yep, there's another one right there. You will be crying and freaking out about it. It's crazy how little self-awareness people have.
Literally just take what they can get, spew all of the truth into their false narrative, spread misinformation, and then
Is there anything useful in the rest of this, chat? Did we get the gist of it? I want to move on. We're just using the what about button. If you have time later today, we can come back to it. How about that? Well, another victim of communism. Pretty funny. Here, look at Capri's thread. So Capri said this. Asmon claims is narcissistic and entitled to black roads to protest Palestine. Is narcissistic and entitled to sit on your ass while and get mad at people trying to stop our government from killing children. I respect Asmon, but bad take.
To break the law because of what you believe in. What gives you the right to do that? Well, you don't have that right. So don't be surprised whenever people get you out of the fucking road and arrest you.
The reply? Yes, I was going to just look at this first tweet and not look at the reply. Thank you so much for your insight on this. I was totally going to not look at the entire thread. Thank you very much.
It's narcissistic and entitled. That's insane. It's like these
Obviously,
people
I want to
think
look at
that
the reply. Why would I not look at the reply? I'm sorry. You caught the brunt of that I'm so sorry. Asmon just made me so mad.
The world revolves around their issue. There's thousands of issues in the world. Is Israel-Palestine the only place where bad things are happening? Look at Ukraine. No. What if everybody acted that way? The world would be chaos. You can't realistically act that way. It doesn't matter what you think is effective or.
Where's the road argument coming from? From most places I've seen, everybody's getting arrested from campus harassment. I'm missing. No, you're not missing anything. You're literally, he's just projecting what he thinks is happening on protests. He says that buildings are being destroyed, properties being damaged, violence is being committed, roads are being blocked. None of that is happening at this wave of protest. Literally none of it. None of it's happening. He's literally just projecting what he thinks is happening onto these protests and arguing on that way. Has he even asked for proof yet? By who? Who would ask him for proof? You just did exactly what Hasan did to James. This is true. Limbo is my James.
Or not. Just because something, you don't have the right to make an effective protest based off of the rules that you invent. That's insane.
Yeah, that's the clip. Asmon replied and said, "You're not protesting for Palestine by preventing some minimum wage worker from getting to work on time and get out of the road. Would you have said the same thing to the civil rights movement? What a ridiculous and self-serving oversimplification to imply the civil rights movement was successful because people stood in the street. It's very simple. Just get out the road." Jeez Louis. He didn't reply to this, did he? He stopped replying, right? Yeah. You're right. I'll tell my friends and family in Palestine if we only use the sidewalks, we would be liberated. My bad, dude. This one's on me. Asmon didn't reply again. Yeah, obviously not, because he's in the wrong. You could tell by the way he replied that he got mad. This touched the nerve. As we saw, it touched the nerve in his original video as well. He does not like this comparison to the civil rights movement. He's not a fan of it. He's very mad. He gets very mad at it. So like, if you want to make Asmon Gold mad, compare his take now to the civil rights movement. He would fume. He would fume because he knows, right? He knows he would be incorrect, right? He knows it. He knows. I truly believe he knows it, right? And so when people point out that fact, he's like, "How dare you? How dare you? How dare you truly get on Beyonce's internet and say that I don't care about black people?" Yes, as you see with Grimlow, very clearly blocking the road here. Same energy. If he were alive during that time, he would have been the one saying everything should stay the same. Segregation is the law. Yes, he would have. Segregation is the law. Why is Megaphonics in the replies? Where? Oh, here? Because Megaphonics is everywhere except for in this chat. This is why Megaphonics is banned. But anyway, here, we'll watch this clip one more time. I think it's funny.
But I think one has to account equally for
Actually, we'll watch the full clip first.
I'm trying to imply
very patronizing.
Utilizing the hostages. Yeah, I am being patronizing. I don't know who the fuck you are, and you're over here chirping all the way from fucking London about Palestine and doing a both sides are fucking fine type bullshit where you're talking about how you want to fucking free Palestine, but also simultaneously, both sides got a lot going on. Shut the fuck up. You don't know anything, okay? I don't give what I'm trying to imply here.
That's so funny, dog. And then we watch this clip.
But I think one has to account equally for the Israeli...
Would you shut the fuck up? God damn, you pretentious British fucking moron. I have never heard of you. Shut the fuck up.
But I think one has to account equally for the...
Yeah. He didn't say a word for the rest of the time, too. Yeah, he was pretty quiet. It did shut him up. He did apologize. How was it called? Hasan did apologize. If he didn't deserve to be compared to that freak, true. I argue deserve better. Here, let's move on, chat. Maybe we'll circle back around to the Asmon stuff. I do want to look at the stuff that Asmon Gold is saying isn't worthy of protests, isn't worthy of standing in the streets, and that is, the actual violence that's going on. You feel me? On these protest grounds. I feel like you can't complain about the way people protest and not offer alternatives. I mean, yeah, that would be too simple because it would like that wouldn't mesh with Asmon Gold's worldview. If he offered alternatives, the alternatives would be. Well, he did say vote, so I guess he said that. But there's a lot that's happened, chat. That I saved the cover. Let's I didn't even talk about Aiden Ross having good takes. Not Aiden Ross, sorry. Definitely not Aiden Ross, XQC. Let's talk about some a funny Joe Biden clip. Where's Biden at? Here. Biden reading pause off the teleprompter.
Imagine what we can do next. 4 more years
Pause. 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years. Imagine.
4 more years. Pause for applause. Interesting. He literally said pause. But I was trying to like use saying "Ayo, pause." And he's like, he was like, "Listen, I don't want to make it gay or anything. No homo, but 4 more years for me, dog." It took him a full 10 seconds to realize what was happening. Yeah, he did not understand what was going on.
Next. 4 more years. Pause. 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years.
It took him forever.
4 more years. Pause.
From like second 6
4 years. 4 more years.
to second 10. He's still confused. He has no idea what's going on. Until then, he's like, "Oh, they're cheering for me." So dumb. I think the chance being positive. But yeah, there's a lot of different situations of protests being hammed up, a lot of violence being hammed up. Is he trying to call Casey fat drug addict? Wasn't necessary. Recently. Oops, I didn't mean to pin this. Hell. Oh, I didn't mean to delete it. Sorry. I don't know how this Twitch things works. Yeah, they took out the camera guy. Here, where is it at? I have too many freaking saved videos. Here. Da 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 do. Da 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 do.
Move back.
I think he's also a street medic. No. This is a different person. You're talking about a different person. It's okay. The camera fell on his head. I don't know. This is a journalist from Fox journalist. What you're talking about, Mango, which I was looking for this video to bring it up as well. Was this extremely disturbing footage? Atlanta cops tase a restrained student protester at Emory University minutes ago. So they're straight up tasing this dude in the thigh. He's handcuffed on the ground. And he's a street medic. And so, yeah, obviously, like, we thought that it was bad at, like, seeing, like, Columbia and, I'll see if I have the video lined up as well. I thought it was bad at Columbia and Yale and Harvard and stuff. You've not seen bad until we start getting videos at, like, Southern institutions, right? Because when you think about, like, think about the like Ivy League, you know, upper crust, they're not going to be like brutalized. Except maybe Columbia. NYPD are insane, right? but like they're not going to be like necessarily brutalized to the same way or to the same degree that you'll see Black students at other institutions being brutalized as well. Cops at UCLA fired rubber encased steel bullets at people last night. Were you there, Brett? I saw you were doing recording and such. Receiving reports that LAPD is currently deployed rubber bullets and tear gas at USC students. I was there for a long time in the morning with it's not at night when that happened. It's yeah, I have a bunch of instances of these like lined up. Like this one as well. Among those who are arrested today, Noel McAfee, chair of the philosophy department at Emory University. I asked for a comment for Emory on the arrest, no word yet. This video provided us by Emory PhD student. You could hear him in the video.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Is there anything I can do for you right now?
Yes, can you call the philosophy department office and tell them I've been requested?
Philosophy department?
Yes, call the philosophy department office.
I will. What's your...
Noel McAfee, I'm chair of the philosophy department.
I got you.
President-elect.
I got you. I'm so sorry.
It's not funny, but him being like, I got you, lady, I got you. Free my homie. That's kind of funny. The situation itself isn't funny, but him being like, I got you, lady. I'll get you out. I'll get you out. Free my homie. Like, that's sick. What a great person. Great dude.
I will. What's your...
Noel McAfee, I'm chair of the philosophy department.
I got you.
President-elect.
I got you. I'm so sorry.
It's not funny, but man, it's like a morbid, comedy. Yes, they're arresting faculty because now you're seeing faculty come and stand in solidarity with the students. You saw it at Columbia. You're seeing it at Emory. I don't know if Emory's a all-girl school, all-female school. I just kind of got that look like this again. Or does the cop look like a Proud Boy?
Is there anything I can do for you right now?
Yes, can you call the philosophy department office and tell them I've been requested?
Hey, this isn't our first rodeo. And there's just like like innumerable instances of this happening. Texas cops aren't arresting journalists; they're viciously assaulting them. Wait, I think I was saying. Yeah, this is another from a different angle. Jeez, that's when he taps on him. Thor's thank you for the follow. Also, Chunky Polo, thank you for the follow. White Star Gal, thank you for the follow as well.
Holy shit! Move back!
I just don't understand how the universities, how the Biden administration, how the police, or how any of these institutions think they're coming across as like moral and just in this, this time, right? Like we're seeing journalists, we're seeing students, like not only be like tased, not only be arrested, but also like forced to run the top of the hour ad break. Because at the top of the hour, there is a 2-minute ad break. And if you don't want to see those ads, all you have to do is subscribe, whether it's for free with a Twitch Prime or for $5 a month. And if you don't have a Twitch Prime and you don't have $5 a month, You could also wait to be gifted a sub as well. Listen, chat. All you gotta do is subscribe. Reward me with your money, please. Thank you.
Bill Boneless.
Trying to get out of rating. It's good though. Bill Boneless, thank you for the tier 1 subscription. Much appreciated. Anyway, but that's true. I don't understand how they see themselves as like moral. Like, here's another example. LAPD marching on USC.
Holy shit.
Is this the whole clip? So, Joe, we'll look at Arun's tweet in a second. Also, the post you sent me has been deleted. So, L. Whoever sent this post. From National SJP. If I ever try to Twitch card, I would trip him for that one. That's crazy. But here's what our lovely queen, Nancy Pelosi, is saying about these protests herself.
Hecklers are saying about Joe Biden, the label genocide. You know what the protesters and the hecklers are saying about Joe Biden, the label genocide, Joe. Could that could support for Israel cost Democrats the election this fall?
Well, it's actually a great question. Like, it's actually a decent question.
It's interesting to me that you use that term because that's what we see at 3 o'clock in the morning outside of our house, flashing as long as this room, a sign that says that. And he has been, as I say, the force for humanitarian assistance to them. He now is calling for the ceasefire. Who's resisting the ceasefire at this point is Hamas.
Not
Remember,
true, by the way.
Hamas is a terrorist organization in our view. Hamas has in its charter the destruction of the state of Israel. So this is more complicated. In terms of your question about the election, it's in Putin's interest for, what's his name, to win. And therefore, I see some encouragement on the part of the Russians of some of what's going on. I trust the sincerity of many of the demonstrators. It's organic, it's spontaneous, it's real. But some of it, I think, has a Russian tinge to it. In terms of the election, people have to decide. Do you want to save the planet? What's his name doesn't.
They've given up, chat. They've given up. They've given up. They've given up. The Democrats have given up. This is me 100% saying this full stop. They've given up. Did you forget Trump's name? No, she's doing like a liberal, like, what's his name? No one cares about Trump. You know what I mean? That's what she's doing.
Do you want to save your personal liberties, women's right to choose, LGBTQ? Do you want to protect the children from gun violence? Do you want to protect our Constitution, our democracy? That's really what's on the ballot in addition to those two names.
They've given up, chat. They've literally stopped being like, you know, Biden truly cares about Palestinians. They've stopped it. Like, Biden's trying his hardest to care about. She's immediately like, listen, Biden, he wants humanitarian aid going, but that doesn't matter. What matters is Trump is still bad. Trump is still bad. Trump is horrible. Trump is horrible. Trump is. Do you want Trump again? like you genuinely do not believe you are winning anybody with that, right? I don't believe they believe that. I can get Red Robin. Sorry, Sean, I'm thinking about food again.
You know.
Yeah, that's Nancy Pelosi. Let's see. Oh, I could do that. That's genius. Let's see what the NYU professor Scott Galloway had to say about the anti-Israel protests.
And I do think there is a double standard. I walked by NYU last night. What I saw was peaceful protests. But I can tell you, if I went into the NYU square with a white hood on and said, lynch the blacks or burn the gays, my ID would be shut off by that night. And I would never work in academia again. There would be no need for the words context or nuance. I wouldn't be protected by terms like First Amendment or free speech. I would be out of the world of academia. It seems like we have a double standard when it comes to hate speech as long as it's against Jews.
Find me one person, just one person who's a student at NYU who's saying those things about Jewish people. Find me one. Find me one. I will be right alongside you getting this person kicked off the campus. Actually, I'd say worse should happen to him, honestly. If you see somebody legitimately coming out here saying stuff like that, I'm right with you. I think the worst, I wish the worst upon him. That's not the protest, though. You're showing pictures of Youth for Palestine, dog. Let me find more examples of universities defending Nazis. Chat. These institutions have to have full web pages dedicated to explaining why they were for slavery, why they were for segregation and Jim Crow. They have to have full web pages on their homepage explaining, listen, guys, we kind of messed up with the whole Jim Crow thing, right? It's not representative of what we believe now. Trust and believe. We might have said black people don't deserve to come to our institution, but we're different. So I don't know if I fully trust them when they say that they are standing against hate speech of all kind. Personally.
And we're not just talking about the exercising of free speech and protest, which we agree people have, and there's spaces on campus for that. It's what they're saying. It's the harassment of Jewish students. So what is that? Why is there that double standard? Because of course you're right. You don't even have to say it out loud. If these things were being said about black people or gay people or Latinos or Asian or anybody else, forget it. Shut down the school.
That's also not true. You know what I mean? It's categorically not true. You're coping. You think that anti-black racism does not exist on these campuses? Like at these prestigious institutions, like you didn't have, like black people couldn't join these like fraternities up until a few years ago, in which cases now there are policies being like, you have to let everybody in. Like there were legitimately prestigious fraternities and like secret societies, if you will, that would not allow black people to join within the last decade. So, I mean, yeah, obviously there still are, but like they've made policies against it and such now. But that was like something that was allowed to happen and occur. Like you have people being hate crimed on these campuses consistently. Jewish people included. Anti-Semitism is real. It is a real thing that like happens and occurs from Nazis that these institutions will go out of their way to defend. So I don't want to hear it from these same institutions who will defend Nazism, turning around being like, man, these pro-Palestinians, they're kind of anti-Semitic, right? Come on.
Everybody's expelled. Why is there still that double standard?
I think it's complicated. I think, one, young people have a healthy gag reflex on what people our age think. And I think that's healthy. Two, I don't think Israel has draped itself in glory over the last 20 or 30 years. They've shifted from being kind of the David to the Goliath. I also think that incorrectly students on campus conflate the civil rights movement with what is going on in Palestine and have digressed, unfortunately, because...
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Young people are conflating the civil rights movement with what's going on in Palestine. Like, is he claiming that it's not a civil rights issue? Is he claiming that, like, Palestinians aren't facing a humanitarian crisis? Malcolm X would disagree with you. Not even Malcolm X. Most civil rights leaders would disagree with you. Freaking 60 years ago. 60 years ago, they were saying the exact same thing. So, like, you know what I mean?
Of an orthodoxy promoted by me and my colleagues that there are oppressors and oppressed, and the easiest way to identify oppressors is how white and how rich they are, or fairly or unfairly.
What?
Israel is seen as ground zero for whiteness and how wealthy they are, and then
no. Like, first of all, white supremacy is a real thing, but like people aren't mad at Israel because they're white and they're rich. Like, I'm not Jewish. Can't speak on what is and isn't anti-Semitism. That feels anti-Semitic to me, though. What he just said. Like, people are mad at Israel because, again, 30,000 Palestinians plus have been killed and using our weapons. They're not protesting Israel specifically. Like, that's a misconception about these student-led protests. They're not protesting Israel specifically. They're protesting sending weapons or giving money to weapons manufacturers from their university. They want their universities to divest from Lockheed Martin, from other defense contractors. Full stop. Right? Full stop.
And what might sound paranoid doesn't mean I'm wrong. I think we are being manipulated, specifically youth, who their frame for the world is TikTok. And if you look at TikTok, there are 52 videos that are pro-Hamas or pro-Palestinian for every one served on Israel. I think
well, I guess we figured out why they wanna take down TikTok. He just said it.
That we are being manipulated. I think Americans are easier to fool than convinced they've been fooled. But if I were the CCP, I'd be doing exactly the same thing. I think social media is sowing division and polarization in our society.
Bro said, bro, people only care about Palestinians because China told them to care. Who is this? This is a professor at NYU. That's what it is.
Undying Machine just gifted 5 subs.
Undying Machine, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Much appreciated. White people are so funny. White people are hilarious. I don't think white people get enough credit for how funny they are. So yeah, speaking of TikTok, I know I'm kind of all over the place. Speaking of TikTok, here's a U.S. senator explaining exactly why he believes TikTok is being banned. Give us more credit.
Where young people are getting their news.
He said basically the same thing I believe, right?
Well, let's look at where young people are getting their news. Nearly a third of adults 18 to 29, these young people in the U.S. are regularly getting their news exclusively from TikTok. Pro-Palestinian and pro-Hamas hashtags are generating 50 times the views on TikTok right now.
First, I get my news from Sean Black. Thank you, Path. I appreciate that. I hope my news is relevant to you for somebody who lives in France.
Despite the fact that polling shows Americans overwhelmingly support Israel over Hamas. These videos have more reach than the top 10 U.S. news websites combined.
Dub.
This is not coincidence. The Chinese Communist Party is doing this on purpose.
Just one time. Just one time. I hate getting China baited. I hate getting China baited, dog. Leave China alone. I'll say it. Leave small bean China alone.
They are pushing this racist agenda with the intention of undermining our democratic values. And if you look at what...
How is it racist? How is it racist? Wait. I don't get that. I don't get that. I don't know how you can say it's racist. like even if you don't want to classify like Israelis as like white overarchingly, how is it racist? I don't understand that. You can say it's anti-Israeli, right? You could even make a case like for like bigoted or whatever. But how is it racist? Like racist against like Israelis that are race. I'm confused. I gotta run it back.
On purpose. They are pushing this racist agenda with the intention of undermining our democratic values. And if you look at what's happening at Columbia University and other campuses across the country right now, they're winning. Well, let's look at where young people are getting their...
Do you think these people realize that they're on the losing side? Actually, scratch that. Do you think these people realize that their side is losing? That's the question I want to ask. Do you think they realize that their side is losing? Like you see mass student protests. Do you think that they truly believe that public perception is swinging more in their favor? If they do, it's the panic. That's what I thought as well, that they are kind of panicking. But I can also see them being just delusional. When our student protest been on the wrong side of history. This actually was a question that was posed before about like whether or not the integration protests were technically student protests. I'm on the side in which they're not. Get what I mean? Well, depending on who's talking, I would venture to say that anti-integration protests during the civil rights movement were not student-led protests, right? As in organic protests from, I guess it could be. Students were racist as well. I think it's good to cast it that way, even if it were true. Most times, student protests are generally like progressive. You would be very hard pressed, especially in contemporary society, to find like conservative protests, because there were students on both sides trying to integrate and trying to stop integration as well. And again, I wasn't alive, so I can't tell exactly when the tide shifted. Because again, for students to have been, on the side of integration, and for integration to be widely accepted, you had to have had mass appeal for integration being a thing. Yeah, I just don't really know. Good questions though. But here I want to look at this bit as well. LAPD just aimed a weapon at protesters, and so on to this. That, by the way, if somebody dies over this, there is nothing that Joe Biden could do, no statement he could ever make to save his re-election chances. The White House started out White House started all this with a statement they put out against Colombia. Now look, this is true. White House did start this. This is a joke. You blame a White House statement for this? Yes. This is something you see all the time from liberals. The president is simultaneously small being least powerful person to exist, but also the most powerful person to exist. Rhetoric matters, chat. Rhetoric matters. And liberals just either don't understand this or they disregard this from being the case. It matters. So when the president comes out and calls BLM protesters thugs, that's going to shape public perception on how violent the protests are. When the president comes out and says that student protesters are all anti-Semitic, right? And there's wide swaths of Nazis just taking over Palestinian protests, and that they're all anti-Semitic, that's going to shape public perception. I missed what statement the White House make on Colombia. I can pull it up. Biden condemns anti-Semitic protests, those who don't understand what's going on in Palestine. This was April 22nd.
With Passover set to begin at sundown, classes at Columbia University are being held virtually today because of administration's safety concerns over the ongoing pro-Palestinian protests on campus.
The school is looking for ways to de-escalate the situation as protests continue. A prominent rabbi at the school is urging Jewish students to actually go home because of these safety concerns. Today marks the 6th day of these sorts of protests on campus. So let's bring in...
And I want to point out, there has been absolutely zero credible threats of violence against any Jewish student. None from these protests. None. At all. The only things that they have is one being accidentally poked in the eye by somebody waving Palestinian flags, a random faceless person who held up a sign that said Al-Qassam's next targets, which we can't even verify that that person was Palestinian, and some random dude 4 blocks away being genuinely anti-Semitic. And that's it. From the 38 schools, the thousands of protesters, student and faculty, across 15 states, only 3 instances. That's it.
Correspondent Meg Oliver, who is there on campus at Columbia. So, Meg,
and yes, most of the the Jewish students are leading the protest. You know what I mean? JVP are like leading these protests.
What's the atmosphere like there today? What's going on campus?
Hey, Ben and Lilia, we're just outside one of the entrances of Columbia University. And as you can see behind me, students and faculty, they have to check in with their student IDs. And this is going to be going on for the foreseeable future. There's a heightened security presence around campus. As you mentioned, these pro-Palestinian protests have been going on. Now,
also, I want to point out, when students were being slaughtered by gun violence, this didn't happen. This didn't happen, right? When students were being directly mowed down on college campuses due to gun violence. They never shut down things and make you have to check in with your student ID. Didn't happen. Not once. Not a single time.
On the 6th day, I just talked with one student, and he described campus as pretty quiet. The classes are now all remote. He said most of the faculty, they have started to cancel classes, so going all remote wasn't too big of a shift. But the university is inviting the media to go on campus at 2 o'clock, and we're going to be able to see those protests. The one student I talked to said there's about 200 protesters on campus. They've been pretty quiet. Lilia, as you know, you were out here last week. There are different pockets around campus that are a lot louder, with protesters that are out chanting on different street corners. I do want to bring up that there are more universities across the country that are starting to see protests. And we know that there was a lot of activity on Yale's campus early this morning. I talked with Sahar Tartak on the phone earlier today. She told me that she is the editor of the Yale Free Press, and she was completely surrounded by pro-Palestinian protesters last night on campus. And one came up to her with a pro-Palestinian flag and jabbed her in the eye.
Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. What is this framing?
Was completely scared. She said as an Orthodox Jewish student, she has been scared for some time on campus and off campus. I think there's a big
we looked at the eye jab.
When you talk to students, especially Jewish students, and how they are feeling. We've seen this rise.
Yeah, because you keep telling them that they're going to be like genocided. When you, as the media, are like showing and like framing your stories in this way, no shot. Of course. Of course. They're going to feel that way. Of course they're going to feel that way. You are telling them if you go on campus and other Israeli supporting Zionist like faculty are telling them, Shai Davide or whatever, is telling them you will die. They will kill you if you go on campus. Of course they're not going to be safe. Or not going to feel safe.
Anti-Semitism. But then if you talk to other students that aren't Jewish, like the one that I just... Come on. What a insane framing network, dog. Jewish students are protesting. Why are you trying to... I mean, I know why, but it's insane to try to frame this as this is everybody else versus the Jews, the students who are Jews. That's insane framing. That's crazy framing. This is literally the most diverse group of people you can get. You're on a college campus. This is the most diverse, interfaith, multicultural group of people you will ever see in your entire life. I'm not exaggerating when I say the most diverse group of people you will ever see. Why are you trying to frame this as though this is everybody's attacking the Jewish students? When it's not. Quite literally not. Talked to, he feels perfectly fine going on and off campus. Ben, Lilia?
So much for that.
Millions of Jewish people around the world are set to celebrate Passover tonight. But with the Israel-Hamas war raging, many Jewish Americans are expressing concerns about staying safe during the holiday. Here in New York, the NYPD is increasing...
Insane framing. Insane framing.
Security at Jewish institutions. So let's bring in CBS News national security contributor Samantha Vinograd. She is the former acting assistant secretary for counterterrorism with the Department of Homeland Security, and she helped lead the federal government's work on campus security. So, Samantha, the Anti-Defamation League has reported a spike in anti-Semitic...
Thank you for the ADL. I appreciate that. I'm sure that there's no bias there at all from the ADL. You're awesome. You're great. Awesome. Amazing.
Incidents.
This has nothing to do with Biden.
Skyrocketed on that back
This has nothing to do with Biden.
Counterterrorism at DHS.
I just realized. Where's Biden's post? That's how we got here. I got so distracted. Here.
And implications of Israel's war in Gaza have been seen and felt across the world. Here in the United States, many universities have been witnessing massive unrest as a direct result. Among them is the prestigious Ivy League institution Columbia University in New York City. The protests have turned into a full-blown crisis for the city and the university. The Ivy League school has had a turbulent week with protests.
Why? I don't understand why it's a crisis. You have students taking naps on the lawn. That's literally it. Oh, this is pissing me off.
Leading to the arrest of more than 100 students over Israel's onslaught in Gaza and the Biden administration's support of Israel. The protesters are, in fact, pressing the school to sever all ties with Israel. Now, U.S. President Joe Biden has slammed anti-Israel protests and has warned of an alarming surge in anti-Semitism. Our next report breaks it all down.
For centuries, universities in the United States of America have been a focus of intense cultural debates. Among them is the prestigious Columbia University in the city. Biden's statement was tied to the Jewish holiday of Passover, but had a clear reference to the events in the city. Biden's statement read, "Even in recent days, we've seen harassment and calls for violence against Jews."
Where? From the Nazis that you wanted a bipartisanship with? Where? Show me. Show me how they have any ties to the protests, please. Thank you. Yeah, Pixar didn't happen.
This blatant anti-Semitism is reprehensible and dangerous, and it has absolutely no place on college campuses or anywhere in our country. My commitment to the safety of the Jewish people, the security of Israel, and its right to...
Oh, that's an interesting turn of phrase, Biden, because you've claimed specifically that the Jews aren't safe anywhere except for Israel. So maybe this is your fault. If I was to concede that it was happening, which is not, I don't know, you've claimed that you have no commitment to keeping Jewish people safe. So, yeah.
To exist as an independent Jewish state is ironclad. Sunday marked the 5th day of protests at the...
What was I going to say? Yeah, that was Biden's statement. Joe Brandon, I've seen a video of a Jewish student getting her eye ripped out by one of those Hamas terrorists. Pause. Pause. True. Pause indeed. It's just, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Anyway, sorry, I was scrolling through Twitter. Yeah. Oh, here. Actually, a great tweet. Why more black cops is not the answer. He's not going to solve fascism. DPS officers put their hand on a USC student, take out batons. Oh yes, the scary protesters with their tents. Pencil bites taking rid of follow. They're officers for one college kid. Bro, if the bro does not stop tripping. Sorry. I know it's not the point of this video, but dog, maybe because he's short, he has zero balance. Watch. One. Two. He looks so goofy. I'm sorry. Yeah. Shout out black cops. Just as good as their white counterparts. No better at all. Maybe even worse. But yeah. It's just my stomach is hurting me. Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. All right. I think that's all the bookmarks I had specifically to talk about. There's something I want to cover briefly. I should order my freaking food though. I forgot my Red Robin password, so I can't get my free meal thingy. Please, what's my password? Okay, whatever. It won't let me log in. Yeah, here's the photographer that was arrested. Congrats to Joe Biden and Democrats. Your relentless support for Israel killing 34,000 people has resulted in a historic anti-war movement led by young people who supposedly are based in the arrest of protesters and journalists, which you warned will happen under Trump.
Who are you with?
I'm with Fox 7.
Fox 7.
Yeah,
What's your name?
Carlos.
Carlos, what do you think of this?
I think it's they were pushing me, and they say that I hit an officer. I didn't hit an officer. They were pushing. You know what I mean? They were pushing me.
I'm a legal observer. What's your name and date of birth? We're gonna send attorneys to you. Right now. Hey, man. Has this ever happened?
No, it's never happened to me. You know what I mean? I was just covering things.
Did you tell them you were the press?
Yeah, I told them that I was the press. This one says I was hitting an officer. I wasn't hitting nobody. You know what I mean?
That's a child, dog. That's a child, bro. And she's wearing a Purple Rain shirt. And Crocs. Ah, my neck. My back. Here's maybe like 20. Same difference, dog. 20 years old. A youngin'. How much damage could this young person cause? Truly. It's a sick shirt, though. I do like the shirt. Probably Katie's age. Oh, 19? All right. It's crazy. Yeah, I have a fire shirt. Drip. True. Also, this person's also very drippy. No offense to the Fox 7 guy. Not as drippy. You know what I mean? She's drippy. The other person, drippy. Fox 7 guy, not as drippy. I'm about to post my idea in the Discord. You won't. You won't. But yeah, one thing I want to do, which I'll probably work on a little bit later today, I have to make a web crawler that would scrape all of the university sites to get all their emails. And to finish with the email bot, I'll try to have it done by maybe Saturday so I can test it on streams. You guys can use it first, and then I can post it. We post some videos about it, and then maybe I'll get it to Hasan, and so that Hasan community can use it as well. But I need to eat. I'm literally starving. I haven't eaten all day. What do you use for scraping? Somebody said use Scrapely. I've actually never used Scrapely before. So I have to figure out how that works. What you gonna eat? Red Robin. But figure out what my frigging password is. Like from there, a burger probably. Resilient fundraiser on Gaza. You and Sarah both said this. There's no information on this. I don't know what you want me to do with this. I posted this reason in response to Casey calling her fat and drag too. But like, you literally cannot say this if you're Asmongold or XQC. Or just let you know, so if you stream to tell your viewers. Has made himself more than any of us ever could. Just look at his lifestyle he chooses to live as a multimillionaire. There is nothing that could be said that disgusting. Nothing that could be said to that disgusting man to ever make him change his filthy, hateful, putrid ways. Just a real stinker. I did it. Did what? Posted your ID? I don't believe you. I knew it. Katie lied. Katie lied. People died. Oh, but she did. 2003. Anyway, if there's any more information about the Arun thing, like if you want to like collab or participate in gaming or stuff, then let me know. But I'll retweet the fundraiser link. It's about experience not smoking weed and doing drugs. Like you own a company. I just feel like this is getting a bit away from like Asmongold being totally fine with people dying. As he said he didn't care. You know what I mean? You should be more worried about that and commenting on that. I don't think he responded to Capri again. Yeah, no, this is the last thing he said to Capri. Was the case actively doing a show recruiting new people. He's on Twitter, it's like this. Yeah. Honestly, and people were telling me to apply to that show. And I considered it. But honestly, I'm a little glad that I didn't. Not because of like Asmongold or whatever, because I don't like Asmongold or whatever. It's just, man, that audience is so mean. You know what I mean? That audience is mean. I was watching that, like them go over the show, and like, or going over the contestants, and they were so mean to the contestants. I was like, dog, I'm so glad I'm minding my own business. But it feel kind of bad because I think OTK in general is chill. Like they are in Texas, so like do what you want with that information. He's really trying to get 100 streamers for like a fundraiser for his editor in Gaza. Which I reach out to be a part of it. What? Sorry, I thought that was insane. I watch Will a lot, and Sirius pretty cool. I don't watch anyone else though in OTK. Scribbler's cool train with templates. I was wondering how you would scrape hundreds of unis so quickly. Somebody recommended that. I haven't used it before. Yeah, Emery was pretty chill. Emily is also chill. I like watching Emily. But like, man, other members of LTK are just kind of, they're very like, unlike other content groups who try to stay away from politics, they're super opinionated for some reason on like political things, like to a weird degree. Like, you know, like OTV, even like AMP, like they'll like stay away from like discourse and stuff. Is Wake actually like a part of OTK? I thought he was like it's like in the sphere. Like the OTK people would be like very easily get down deep with like in the mud arguing with people. Oh, he's just afraid he's on OTK side. Oh, okay. Wake's also cool. They're cool people around OTK. For sure. It's just sad. Oh, this is the purple ring girl getting arrested. Kind of wish they had as much smoke for each other's bad takes they do for randoms on Twitter. If only. It's kind of crazy thinking that we're seeing like a resurgence of like 2020 again. Literally, it is literally like every 4 years. Every 4 years. It's people get in the revolutionary spirit. People are like, dog, I wanna mess some stuff up. If only things would actually change. But yeah, I'll look into Scrapely. Every 4 years, huh? Yep. Every 4 years. Last 4 years it was or 4 years ago it was BLM. Now it's this. And what would it be in 4 more years? 4 more years. 4 more years. Let me order my food before I just don't know my freaking password, dog. Wait. I can order on my phone. I'm logged in on my phone. Red Robin. Is it in order? No. Similar cadence to a U.S. presidential election? I think it's purely coincidental. Purely coincidental. But yeah, I do think I went a little bit hard on people this time around for this stream. Let's see. Scrapely. Scrapey. That's what it's called. Scrapey. Any final thoughts about Asmongold or the protests themselves? Asmon is surely the lowest common denominator of modern Americans. He barely knows anything. He thinks he knows everything. He's entitled to respect for his ignorant opinions. True. I miss when creators were at least shameful of their ignorance. Maybe I should apply for this show and get on it and ask them why they allow their owners to say such horrible things. Good luck. It sucks because it sucks because like Nick and Melena are cool, Emily's cool, Emeru's cool, Will is cool, Sear's cool. And then you get to other people and they're not as cool. Is it going on with assholes? Yeah. Here, this is where I'm gonna call it though. I'll say that. I do want to look at Scrapey, but I want to do it off stream, just so I have like a little bit more focus on this stuff. I'll be back tomorrow. I also have a meeting at 5 anyways. I have to get off now. I want to eat soon and then I have my meeting. Yeah. In conclusion, that's how I feel about freaking. Wait, he made it to TikTok? What is this TikTok called? I make Black history every day. This clip had 107,000 likes. Jeez.
There
People
are current
from
tens of thousands of people in Israel. Currently, tens of thousands of Israeli citizens right now in the streets of Israel, in the streets of Tel Aviv, outside of Benjamin Netanyahu's house, protesting every single day. What are they protesting?
Scrapey and Scrapely are different. Same devs though. What, they're different? How are they different? What makes them different? I'll look into it. Don't worry about it.
They're protesting for Benjamin Netanyahu to facilitate a ceasefire with Hamas so that they can actually bring the hostages home. That is precisely the number one goal of the family members of the hostages.
Who
and
is
if
using
anyone
the
on
hostages?
this panel was being even a little bit honest, they would recognize the reality that, listen, just listen.
You didn't listen to my question.
Listen to what I'm saying, and you will understand perhaps what I'm trying to imply
That's very
here.
patronizing.
Utilizing the hostages. I am being patronizing. I don't know who you are, and you're chirping all the way from fucking London about Palestine and doing a both sides are fucking fine type bullshit where you're talking about how you want to fucking free Palestine, but also simultaneously, both sides got a lot going on. Shut the fuck up. You don't know anything.
It's funny. So there's a lot of people who are just like I don't like Hasan, but he popped off here. I didn't realize I was a Hasan fan. It's kind of crazy. The quick cut ruined it. It did ruin it a little bit. I think they cut him saying chirping twice. Anyway, that's a great place to end it off on. Thank you for being here, chat. I'm going to order my freaking food. Hello? Hello? Spotify? Sorry, my stream deck's not working right now. Anyway, thanks for being here, chat. Hopefully next stream there's nobody to get mad at. In conclusion, look at my new shoes. How do you like them, chat? They're actually not white. They're actually beige. You can't see it because the light is so bright. There you go. Matches your shirt. This shirt. This shirt's red. It matches this hoodie though. Kind of perfectly, right? Delivered log hours. Thank you. I did forget. The rose gold and cream. It's not rose gold. It's brown and cream. I also got it for $60. So if you want a pair of Nikes for half off, Nike's doing a lot of sales right now. Nike.com, not sponsored, obviously, because I do support reps more than buying Nike themselves. But it was on sale, so I bought it anyway. Anyway, I'm going to log my hours, work on this spam thing or email tool. We'll be back tomorrow with my progress. Yeah. Thank you for being here, chat. Here, I rate us on. Adios, chat. Thank you for being here. Bye. Goodbye. I'll be back tomorrow or the day after. Oh, I'm glad they're gone. Jeez. I did not like them at all. Brand new about. Aunt Juice, putting a me tripping. All right, bye, chat.